Cows don't produce milk. Did you know that? Mothers make milk.
Arvind, you're talking about plant-based vegan omega 369. We're talking about plant-based vegan D3. Do you even realize you're catering merely to the 2% of this country who would even understand the meaning of this?
Why do
in terms of education, in terms of economy, in terms of social structure, everything. This is only going to the privileged few, elitist. Say, for instance, from tomorrow, I'm asking you to walk on your hands. So, okay, just because you've been walking on legs all these while doesn't mean you're hurting your leg. Your arms are stronger than your legs. So, walk on your arms. How intelligent would that be to get across to the society?
It depends on what...
This is something that you've been given by the nature.
On the reasoning you give behind the statement you put.
Suppose I put it here. How would you take it with your hand?
Yes.
Like that? I'm suggesting go there, get out to that room, make a U-turn, come there, and then take this. Would I sound sane?
No.
When I am having a direct access to it, why do I have to keep fortifying everything?
We are breeding animals into existence, taking plant food, feeding it to the animal is eating the food, they eat B12 supplements, they then store the nutrients in their body, then we kill that animal and eat the animal. Isn't that a roundabout process?
All the time I have to keep on planning what I have to eat for the next square
Vishwa,
meal.
you are an actor, you are a multi-talented person, you probably do God knows what are the difficult things that require talent and stuff, but you can't take 3 pills. You probably have a car or a bike, don't you put petrol? Did you ever think like, but what, I have to go to the petrol bunk and open the thing and pay him money and he'll put petrol? That's too come. What is this? Come on, Vishwa. This is...
I'm telling you, nobody's going to give up meat for the sake of this.
If you were to kill only for taste, that would be wrong.
In your journey, your vegan journey, would you consume something which is absolutely giving displeasure to your taste buds just because you have to be vegan?
These females scream and cry just like any other human mother would when they have their baby literally ripped away from them.
See, you were dragged away at a point in time when you had to start going to school. You were literally dragged away because for mankind there are so many
things. Are you by any chance insinuating that the life that we go through is the same as what these farm animals go through?
Over a point in time, the cows are not going to sit and cry like we do. The cows are not going to have a photograph of the person sit and look at them and cry. This is, this according to me is cruelty at its height. I only said I like to eat meat. I never said I like to kill somebody.
Interested in going vegan? Watch Arvind's full guide to being vegan in India.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Face to Face with Arvind, and I am honestly so excited to introduce our guest today, which is Mr. Vishwanathan. Welcome to the show, Vishwa.
Hi all, hi Arvind.
Yeah, so if you happen to be someone who was born and watched TV in the late 90s to the early 2000s and even the mid 2000s in Tamil Nadu and have lived there, you pretty much know this face. There's not a possibility you don't know who this person is because we've all seen you on various different TV shows, Tamil serials. But for those of you who don't know, he is an actor. You just want to talk about yourself a bit?
Yeah, okay. I started off as a TV actor. I mean, it just happened. TV acting just happened to me. I was earlier working with a publication in Chennai, to be precise, Indian Express.
Okay.
And then this happened to me. I was offered roles in... it started with anchoring for Sun Television Network.
Which year was that?
That was way back in early 2000, I should say.
Okay.
And then the serials started happening. The most famous Mettiyuli, Kolangal, all those things happened. Those were two of the iconic, series I can speak of. I can feel proud to speak of.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree.
Sorry. So it happened. The journey was good. It was an enjoyable journey, I would say. And then somewhere down the line, I started my own event management company, and that beyond a point in time, the business of mine was somewhere getting in way of the acting that I was doing. The time, with the perspective, with the kind of time it was taking out of me. So I thought I should. Someday I should decide between the both. Like I should be doing either one of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing justification to both of them.
Either, yeah.
Yeah, either. So I thought event management should be the path I take because I felt I had traveled enough, and more so because I had done projects like Mettiyuli and Kolangal, and when you don't get projects, if not better, at least as convincing as good as these two, as an actor, as a creator, as an actor, what happens is you kind of get drained. Like, why am I not doing a Kolangal again or a Metioli again for that matter? So that way I thought, I wouldn't say the other ones were inferior to what I've already done, what I had already done, but somewhere, as an actor, you feel that you're not doing justice to what you've already done.
Okay.
The standards, setting standards for
Right.
that matter. So that way, I chose to pursue my event management career, and I did so successfully. I was officially empaneled with close to around 38 to 40 MNCs and IT majors across the country as official event handler. And we were doing good till COVID. So come COVID, everything was uncertain. You didn't know when the industry would bounce back, when, if at all, something like event management would even take place. Because the dimensions of event management had changed by then.
Everything's online suddenly.
Yeah, things had gone online. Even the events were taking place online. So even the music events were happening on karaoke because to reduce the number of people on stage. And then as any other profession like IT and so many other professions, things became to one's own convenience. Like I wouldn't have so many people now, not because I fear COVID or anything, because it is more convenient for me. So that way the whole perspective of event management changed. So I had to shift.
Okay.
And then we started doing. We started writing content for brands. For brand promotion. So what I do right now is I have a team of people who work for me in terms of procuring clients. So what we do is we create creative content for brands. We develop creative content for multiple brands to get their products across, message across, concepts across. That way for the digital platform. Right. I mean, more on the digital platform. I'm not too active on the television platform right now. But I would definitely, the calling is still there. I mean, once an actor is always an actor. So the calling is still there. So I'm listening to good scripts. If any script interests me, I don't mind doing a TV series or on the OTT platform, what have you.
Awesome.
So that's about me.
That's about you. Yeah. So the thing is, for me, this is kind of like a surreal experience. And I don't know how you will relate to this, because if you've been seeing someone on TV, since like you see me right now, I am so tall and giant. When I used to be as tall as this table, I used to watch you on TV. I used to run around the house. My mom would feed me food while we were watching you on TV. So it's so surreal for me to have you in front of me.
Now you're pulling my age up now.
That's one thing I want to bring up though. Like, you don't look that much older from Kolangal Karthik.
Thank you. That is a compliment.
Because for me, I had to train my brain to call you as Vishwa. In my brain, I see Karthik in front of me. I see the character Karthik because that's all that our whole family knew you as.
Exactly.
And the weirdest thing is, just recently, I'll tell you, by the way, guys, how I even got in touch with him, why I invited him. What happened was, me and my wife decided, for some weird reason, Vishwa, I don't like watching movies. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, I just don't like it. But I love watching soap operas, Tamil TV serials. And we thought, why not watch some of the older classics? So we went to Kolangal, we were watching a few episodes. And then, obviously, you were there on screen. And my wife just walks in and she's like, hey, we're going to do a podcast. I was like, yeah, why not invite Karthik? I was like, wait, you mean him? The guy on screen? Him? I was like, she's like,
what does he have to do with this?
Yeah. She was like, no, actually, his name is Vishwa and he has a YouTube channel. I was like, seriously? She was like, yeah, go check it out. So I went to your YouTube channel and I began watching it because, see, we'll come to it obviously later, but I am trying to promote this particular message that I have. And I want to call in people who are celebrities, talk to them about it, because that way it reaches even further. But then again, how do you pick which celebrity is a good candidate for these kind of podcasts is also a question. So I went to your YouTube channel, and honestly, I was very shocked to see the kind of content, because I assumed an actor is someone who always tries to remain apolitical, or someone who tries to not express their ideas too much in society because they may get backlash, they may get hate. But when I see your content, I'm like, this man speaks his mind. It's not like he's trying to appeal to someone. He's not necessarily trying to appeal to a particular political group or any group of people in society. He is speaking his mind and he is putting forward points rationally, logically, instead of just trying to appeal. And that's when I was like, no, now we need Kolangal Karthik on the back. That's when it clicked in my head. Because obviously, one is being a celebrity, but it's another thing to be a level-headed person, and I look at you as a critical thinker, first of all, to be honest.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored. This really is an honor to be on a podcast like this, because I have also been following you. I have been watching your almost all your shows. I think the podcast is a new venture.
It's a new venture, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been watching almost all your videos on YouTube. I have known you as an animal lover, as an activist, as somebody who has had a huge conviction,
Yes.
Conviction for what you believe, what you hold, your philosophies that you hold so close to your heart, that the future should be vegan.
Yes, I do believe that. Yes.
The world should go towards veganism.
Yes.
But let me tell you, let me be brutally honest.
By all means, yeah.
Much as I admire your conviction, your the way you have gotten your message across to the masses out there, much as I admire all that, I still feel I have very strong contradictions to some of your views with respect to pushing the entire world towards veganism. So it's just putting a little disclaimer that I might be playing a devil's advocate here to, when it comes to pushing the world towards veganism.
By all means, please see, if I claim to be an activist and if I make a claim saying that I want the world to be vegan, the world has every right to ask questions back.
Exactly.
I can't be expecting to make a wide sweeping statement and be like, guys, listen to me, please don't question back. No, by all means, ask me anything. That's the reason why we are here. Because as someone who I also consider myself like you to be a critical thinker, a rational thinker, I honestly believe that I can convince you. Okay, my God, I was going to call you Karthik right now. I can convince you. I saw it just came till here. I can convince you, Vishwa, that with logic and with scientific facts, because emotion is one thing we humans have, but apart from that, with just logic and also scientific facts, I can show you why what I'm saying actually makes perfect logical sense, like complete sound sense. It's irrefutable, and that's what I'm trying to do.
No, that's absolutely. I appreciate that. That's a wonderful gesture. See, the thing is, you believe in something, and I might probably believe that it may not be all that right. So, end of this podcast, the whole objective that at least my objective for having come to this podcast is end of this episode. Either I should feel you're right or you should feel I'm right, or at least we should be able to complement each other, and through which there could a better clarity on the subject per se should be achieved to help the millions of minds sitting out there watching this to know whether Arvind is right, or it's not about Arvind is right or Vishwa is right, whether veganism is right or veganism in entirety is not required.
Exactly. I agree. Just make an informed choice. You should be having the information to make an informed choice. Exactly. Agreed. Completely.
Okay, so veganism, you can just make a statement. Veganism is about not eating animals or not avoiding cruelty to animals, not being cruel to animals, being kind to animals. But all that are plain statements. I feel the basic word or the basic term veganism deserves to have a better definition. And I don't think anyone other than you, with respect to the kind of people I know, anyone other than you would be the most perfect person to be able to stress. To be able to give a perfect definition of what veganism is all about. So let me start with what your views on veganism is all about, and why did you have to? Where were you? What were you doing? And why did you suddenly start this concept of veganism? I would like to know about.
Fair enough. So first of all, I would define the word vegan much differently to what you stated right now. For example, I would not say it's about being kind to animals or not killing animals or not hurting animals. I would define veganism as a philosophy where one recognizes that animals are not inferior to human beings, and therefore we humans do not have the right to exploit them. I want to say that again once more clearly so it will be like properly understood. It's a philosophy. So it's not necessarily a diet. It's a philosophy and a mindset that is basically stating that non-human animals are not inferior to us humans, and therefore we do not have the right to exploit them. The reason why I'm not making the statement like we should be kind to animals or we should not kill animals is because those statements actually don't make sense. Kindness can be subjective. And let's be real, you can't live in this world without killing animals. You can't live in this world without killing humans. But we can live in this world without exploiting them, is my argument. Do you understand the distinction, first of all, that I'm making, or do you feel...
See, on a very theoretical platform, I completely understand, and even I even appreciate what you're saying. But on a more practical scale, what I feel is, veganism is majorly understood has something to do with the food. That's what the world has
Majorly.
understood.
Yeah, you're right.
World is majorly, it's like halal. The minute you say halal, it only refers to biryani today in
That
this
is
part
true.
of the world.
Yeah.
But halal is not just that. Halal is a much, much bigger thing. Likewise, veganism is a very big thing, but majorly understood by a predominant section of this world as being a way of eating. With the way I eat my food.
A diet, basically.
A diet, a way of diet. So that is, I mean, with that in my mind, with that having said that, what I feel is how practical is it to be a complete vegan? Because to my knowledge, or to the knowledge of most of the people watching this, I would dare say that veganism is something which is more of an elitist, more of more pertaining to more of a privilege to an educated few or an elite few. So, considering a country like India, where 80% of the population are still below the poverty line, so who do not even have access to basic nutrition, I would say malnutrition. So more people are malnutritioned in this part of the world. So a country like this, how do you think veganism could be practicalized? How do you think it can be taken on a more practical scale?
Okay, so firstly, in respect to what you spoke about, people thinking it is a diet, it is unfortunate that people think it that way, but I can't blame them because veganism sounds very similar to vegetarianism, which happens to be a diet that people choose to follow either for religious reasons, cultural reasons, spiritual reasons, environmental, whatever is a health reasons. It's a diet people follow. Like I said, veganism is a philosophy. Now that philosophy, if I say I believe or I hold that philosophy in my mind, it bleeds into every aspect of my life because food is not the only area where we humans are exploiting them. Animals. We're exploiting them when it comes to clothing, when it comes to the testing we do for our makeup that we use, cosmetics, when it comes to the pet industry, when it comes to zoos and circuses, when it comes in the name of religion, where we are so-called sacrificing animals. Like, veganism opposes all forms of animal exploitation. It's unfortunate. If I could go back in time, honestly, Vishwa, I would not call this movement as veganism because it does it injustice. It makes it seem like it's something we eat. The right word I would keep it as is animal liberation. I will say I'm fighting for animal liberation. I'm not fighting to create a vegan world because a vegan world sounds like a world.
Who has imprisoned animals?
Who has imprisoned animals, you mean? Us, the human race, our species. We have imprisoned cow. If they are not imprisoned, are they free?
Well, that again is a very relative term. Let me tell you. See, all of us humans, or probably even the animals, we have all evolved with the help of nature. Nature has helped us evolve. We were all born at some point in time, animals as animals, and we also at one point in time as animals. There has been classifications between these animals, considering we were also animals. There has been some classifications. Animals, there are some animals who are carnivores, and there are some animals who are herbivores, like the rabbits and stuff, and there are some animals who are omnivores. So we humans have...
One second, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So sorry, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess you were talking about how there are some animals who are herbivores, some animals who are carnivores.
Let me complete.
Yeah.
So you have been talking in all your shows that I have seen, you have been talking rationals. Okay, you have tried to rationalize the whole thing. But when I have somehow seen logical fallacies in it because we have evolved as omnivores. We humans at some point in time, like I said, some animals have been carnivores, some have been herbivores, and we human beings have been once a sect of animals who have evolved into being omnivorous human beings.
Correct.
Or omnivorous animals.
We are.
Now, when you try to rationalize veganism now, isn't there a logical fallacy that we are going directly against the nature which has commanded us to be omnivorous?
No, it would be a logical fallacy if I justified my statement saying that since something is natural, therefore it's right. See, an appeal to nature fallacy is when we say, since something happens to be natural, therefore it is okay. Not necessarily. My argument is not that because what I'm saying is unnatural. By the way, veganism is unnatural for human beings. I'm completely open about that. Just because something is unnatural does not make it right or wrong. Just because something is natural does not make it right or wrong. We have to analyze it individually. And my case for veganism is not about whether it's natural or unnatural. My case is that what we are doing is unethical. I'm delving into the realm of morality, Vishwa. I'm talking about the philosophy of ethics, right and wrong, good and evil, black and white, like that. And that's what I'm delving into. So why would your point here regarding nature, I'm trying to find out like what validity does it have here? Like,
Okay, let me put it this way.
Huh.
We have evolved as human beings. Although when we were animals, we were eating animals. We were evolved. We have
We
evolved.
still are animals, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, in a
Sapiens.
way, we are, most of us are. I mean, or rather, all of us are still
I mean,
animals.
we are classified under the animal kingdom.
We are classified
Primates.
under the animal
Primates,
kingdom,
yeah.
correct. There is no kingdom as human kingdom per
Yeah.
se. Although humans have formed the majority of the world as kingdom. Okay, now, we have evolved. In spite of the evolution, one thing, in spite of, if we have gotten into religions, there is a Hinduism, there is a Christianity, there is Islam, and so many others across the world. But none of these religions tell you that you should not eat meat for food. Which means there is, in spite of all the diversities across religions, across classifications of people, one thing that all of us are in agreement with, all of us are on the same platform, same page, is that a human being is allowed to eat, not just allowed, has to eat meat for certain biological requirements of his. So your rationale directly conflicts with my biology, because none of the castes or communities or religions have told you not to eat meat. So when you create a concept called veganism, don't you think you're going against, not just against the biology, not just against the nature, but you're also going against the beliefs and faiths of every other religion, trying to create absolutely a new religion, I would say, new segment of people altogether. You're creating something new, a new faith, I would say. Let's put it as faith.
If you want to, okay.
Because every religion is termed to be a faith.
Yeah.
Whether it's Christianity, Islam, whatever, Hinduism, it's a faith. So you're trying to create a new faith that has not been prevalent among most of the other faiths. So how logical do you think it is? How do you think you can even get this across such a huge and strong wall?
Okay, so quite a lot to address there. I'll try to tackle it one by one. Firstly, what you stated right now, there were two logical fallacies in that. I don't know if you realize that. One is an appeal to authority or an appeal to popularity fallacy. What it means is that just because something has been happening for a long time, how can you question that? Well, that was kind of like a part of a premise, right? What you said, right?
Yeah.
That is a logical fallacy. Just because something has been going on even for 10 million years doesn't necessarily mean that it can't be questioned, because what if we have been doing something wrong? I mean, it's because of questioning things like that we got rid of stuff like child marriage. We got rid of slavery.
Oh, yeah.
No. So the point
Absolutely.
is that, But why I bring this as an example is because when we talk about logic, what we do is sometimes we make statements, but we have to take the logic behind it and try applying it in other scenarios as well. Now, if it works in other scenarios, boom, you're logically sound. But if you say, Arvind, isn't it wrong to question something that's been happening for so long, then you must agree that people who stand up against casteism are also standing up against something that's been going on for so long. People who stand up against misogyny are also standing up against something that's been going for so long. Wouldn't you agree?
So you are literally from what I understand, equating certain practices that we have gotten over time, over period, like racism, casteism, or sati, or a child marriage for that matter. You're equating that to according to your evolution from non-veganism to veganism.
I have not equated it yet. I will, full disclaimer.
Well, that's what I understand from what...
No. I understand. I haven't equated, but my point was that if what you're saying is not logical in these scenarios, it can't be logical here either. If what you're saying is logical when it comes to veganism, it has to be logical here.
Okay,
too.
let me try to explain this.
Okay.
Now, there is something called the word called practice. Okay. What has been in practice? So this, you can largely classify this word practice into two. One is what you have been doing for your convenience. Another one is what nature has embedded inside you. Both these are practices. Classic example is child marriage was a practice for one's own convenience, for the convenience of probably more than child marriage, to make the analogy look more precise. Let me say racism, or the casteism, slavery, casteism.
Okay.
When you talk of casteism in classes, this was a practice developed by human beings. We were not born when we were born, this was not embedded in us. This is something that we developed later on. A racism or a child marriage, there was no marriage in the first place. Racism or a child marriage or casteism did not evolve, was not born along with us, was not infused into us by nature. It was developed by mankind after he evolved into a human being from an animal for the convenience of his own self, or probably a set of people, his own set of people.
Fair enough. Agreed
Okay.
so far.
the other practice, the other classification of practice is what has been infused to you inside you by nature. Say, for instance, from tomorrow, I'm asking you to walk on your hands. You're not supposed to, okay, just because you've been walking on legs all these while, doesn't mean you're hurting your leg. Your arms are stronger than your legs. So walk on your legs. I mean, walk on your arms. How intelligent would that be to get across to the society?
It depends
this
on
this is something that you've been
but it
given by
depends
nature.
on the reasoning you give behind the statement you put. Now, if you give me a valid enough reason to walk on my arms, I think fair enough, I have to walk on my arms. But if your reasoning is not valid, then it's invalid, right?
However valid the reasoning is, if that would have impact on so many other things, let us say your reasoning to be a vegan, your I mean, with due respects to all the reasons
Fair
and
enough,
convincing explanations you give for somebody to be a vegan, if that veganism is going to tomorrow take the health, a good health out of the babies and children which are born in this world, then I would definitely oppose it. Definitely oppose it because, say for instance, there is something called vitamin B12, which is very, very, very important for mankind.
True.
There is no life without vitamin B12.
Agreed.
But the kind of vitamin B12 that is gotten from, where do you get this vitamin B12? Majority of it is not from vegetarian food. It is the majority of vitamin B12 naturally is gotten from something else other than what you feel is the right way of eating. So if that is going to deprive the children and babies of this world from having a good life and a good health, then I'm sure this veganism will not be a success.
So now you have given me a caveat. You have said, you put a big if there. Like I told you, if you can justify the reason for me to walk on my hands, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
But now you said, all right, your statement right now is that, what if, Arvind, by becoming vegan, we humans start becoming malnourished, deficient,
Absolutely.
and sick?
Yeah.
So now you're given a caveat. If I manage to fill this caveat, do you think then the proposition I'm making would be more fair?
It depends on how you fill the caveat. How convincingly you fill the caveat.
Fair enough. You know what? I have some stuff right now to show you.
Yep.
I would request you to just have a look at these two sheets. And for the audience watching, like you guys know, I'll be putting this on screen right now while he's looking at it. And you can just have a look. Meanwhile, I'd like to show you a few other things. We will dive deep into it, guys. Don't worry. So let me know once you're done looking. I just want to give like a brief explanation as to what I'm showing you here. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, what I am basically trying to put forward a point is that, like I stated earlier, I agree that veganism is not natural for human beings. I have never denied that, nor am I going to ever deny it. However, at this point in time, we human beings have the technology to procure certain nutrients that are once isolated and mainly found only in animal-based foods right now through other means without actually needing to exploit the animal. The option is available, and the beauty is, Vishwa, the option is not expensive, because I've also put the price here. If you want to get, for example, by the way, if someone wants to be a vegan watching this, please understand you have to take a vitamin B12 supplement and you have to take a vitamin D supplement. If vegans, we don't take these, we will get deficient, because it's not a natural diet for human beings. But if we do take them, we are well and set, just like any other omnivore in this world.
Arvind, you're talking about a Swiss Life plant-based vegan omega 369. We're talking about Univet plant-based vegan D3. Do you even realize you're catering merely to the 2% of this country who would even understand the meaning of this?
Why do
in terms of education, in terms of economy, in terms of social structure, everything. This, whatever you have shown me and shown to the audience here.
Make note of that. Yeah, education, economy, and social structure was your point, right?
Yeah, this is only going to the privileged few, elitist. This is not reaching somebody who is living in some downtown village of Tamil Nadu or downtown village of Uttar Pradesh. See, if you want to make the country vegan, let us make the entire country vegan. I'm sure you're not partializing this. I mean,
I'm not partializing.
You're not partializing this. So if you're not partializing this, then if you are talking about making the entire world out there vegan, taking India as a primary example, in a country like India, for these things to reach the masses, the actual masses of this country, I would say again reiterate the remote areas of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, certain areas of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka. This is going to take centuries, and it may not even after centuries, because this is first of all financially not accessible. You don't. How many shops do you think is selling or would be in the next 20 to 30 years would be selling these things in the remotest of villages of where even drinking water is a problem, where even basic, you're talking about 8 rupees a day, 10 rupees a day. 10 rupees is something they spend for food for 3 or 4 days, than those kind of places. So spending 8 or 10 rupees for a vitamin B12 alone, I'm talking about 3 square meals. I'm talking about the masses of this country who are still spending only 8 rupees or 10 rupees for 3 square meals a day. You're talking about getting only vitamin B12 or vitamin D or a calcium for 8 rupees and 10 rupees. There are many such nutrients which are deficient in non-vegan, I'm saying vegan. Yeah. Many such nutrients which are deficient in vegan products, which if these people have to collectively buy, would cost them a fortune. For them, even 100 rupees a day is a fortune. We're talking about that kind of masses. I would be able to afford this. You would be able to afford this. But if you're not partializing this, please give me an explanation.
Fair enough. So I want to break this down into multiple different pieces right now. Number one, I will acknowledge one thing as a vegan activist, that right now at this point in time, not every single human being in our country, at the third world country, can choose to be a vegan. I will acknowledge it completely and honestly. Because they, like you said, do not have the finances. There are some people out there right now, it's not about they can't find vegan food or non-vegan food. They can't find food. They literally can't get food.
Absolutely right.
I want to first make it clear that when I go around preaching about veganism, when I go around talking to people about veganism, giving lectures in colleges, I am not going to the slums of Dharavi, Mumbai and holding a placard there saying going vegan. You saw me speaking at NIT Tiruchi. You saw me speaking at Mount Carmel College in Bangalore. You saw me speaking at IIT Madras. Yeah. So my point is that I also am very well aware of the current scenario and therefore properly pick my target audience. Second thing is, I want to make a distinction here right now, Vishwa. Let's just come up with some numbers right now. Let's say 80% of the country right now is not financially capable. A hypothetical number, we'll go into details later. Just hypothetically assume that 80% of the country right now cannot afford vegan food. So let's just at the moment just completely push them aside at the moment. Let's say I'm putting forward a message only for the 20%, which in and of itself would be like some 35 crore Indians.
I wouldn't say even 20% at this point in time. The lower middle class cannot afford this kind of food.
So here's my argument then. If someone can have 100 rupees to 120 rupees per day per individual, they can most definitely be a healthy vegan right now. That is my first statement I want to make. 100 to 120 rupees is more than enough. It's more than enough to meet all of your nutritional needs, either through plant or synthetic means. Number one, I just want to make a statement. So let's now come to numbers again. Let's say that how much? Do you want to say 10% maybe can afford 100 to 120 rupees a day? Can we come with, I just want a number.
Yeah, right 10% perhaps.
Say 10% right now. Okay, guys. So 90% can't. Let's say 10% can. In India, 10% of humanity equals to around 15 crore human beings.
Right.
My argument is, if 10% can, 10% should. And the reason I'm saying that is because I don't want the privileged class, and by privilege, again, I'm making my statement very clear. If you can have 100 to 120 rupees a day, you are privileged enough to be a vegan. I don't want them to make an excuse to not be vegan by saying that, look at the impoverished people who cannot afford these products. The reason being is, this is a capitalistic society. Supply equals demand. When the people like us, when crores, let's say millions of people like you and me, who are from a affluent and well-to-do background, when we decide to go vegan, we are changing the supply and demand of the market. These things start becoming more popular. People start getting more awareness. Like right now, when I say the word fortified nutritional yeast, you might be like, what on earth is this guy talking about? You probably have never heard of this word. And that's fair enough because this is not popular. But what if tomorrow millions of Indians start consuming this? The privileged ones do. We suddenly create a market for this, and therefore it becomes more accessible even to those who cannot access it right now. We, the privileged, can actually make this change happening by us not saying the underprivileged cannot change and using that as an excuse for us to not change. Do you get my statement?
Yeah. Suppose I put it here. I ask you to take it with your hand. how would you take it with your hand?
This.
Like that? I'm suggesting go there, get out to that room, make a U-turn, come there, and then take this. Would I sound sane?
No.
No, not really.
Not
right?
really.
That's almost, that is the analogy I want to put down here. When I have access to all these vitamins and minerals and X, Ys and whatever is deficient in vegan food, when I am having a direct access to it, why do I have to keep fortifying everything? Everything is fortified. Everything is added. See, it's a longer and a bigger process you're talking about. I have a direct access. See, I'll give you a classic example of vitamin. omega-3. So, what are the basic three omega-3? The omega-3 basically it is. I think it is DPH, right?
Yeah, it is EPA, DHA, and
DHA,
ALA.
EPA, and
ALA, alpha linoleic acid. Yeah.
No, only one. I think only ALA is available in the
Plant kingdom.
Plant kingdom.
Except for one individual plant. Yes, go on.
Predominantly, I'm talking. Predominantly, only the ALA.
Yeah.
The other two, which are the most important for mankind, for development of health
Brain
of mankind.
health,
Brain especially.
Yeah.
These two parts of omega-3 is available only from the animal kingdom. Now, what happens is when you consume ALA, it needs to be converted. Inside your system, it needs to be converted into the other two.
Right.
Which is a process. Whereas when I consume meat, it is directly converted. That is why meat eaters have much better edge over the non-meat eaters. Or I wouldn't say meat alone. It could be egg, it could be a paneer or whatever, dairy or whatever.
Animal product.
Animal product. When you classify that as an animal product, people who consume animal product, they are able to get a better health and better, a complete in entirety, a better mental health, physical health in entirety than those who than those who prefer not to.
Two things I want to make. First, about the last point you said, I object to that, and I can, if you want, I've brought with me some just screenshots like peer-reviewed data that show that. Again, I had to make the word proper. A well-planned plant-based diet can give the same results. I'm not arguing whether omnivorous diet, which is also well planned and well structured, will give great results or not. Obviously, we are omnivores. That's what we have been doing for all these thousands of years. It works. I get that. All I'm saying is that a plant-based diet with a few tweaks, which if somebody can afford 100 rupees a day, can give you the exact same results. The results are non-contestable here, Vishwa. I can give you scientific evidence right now, peer-reviewed data, meta-analysis that show that this is like, to say that this will not work is the equivalent of saying that smoking will not cause cancer, something like that. We have that much level of data to show that a well-planned plant-based diet will work. Number one point. Second thing I wanted to say is that initially you started by saying, Arvind, there is a caveat here. You are asking me to do this despite are you asking me to compromise my own health and well-being in order to be a vegan? That's when I say no. I am not asking anyone to compromise their own health and well-being to be a vegan. That is an unfair statement of me to make, and I cannot make that. But what I am saying is those of us who recognize that we can be vegan, I'm saying we must be vegan. And that must is coming because there is a reason for it, right? You're asking, if you want to pick up this omega-3, why do you want to go around there, take a U-turn, come there, stand upside down, do 5 backflips and then pick it up? Because if I don't do it that way, again, if going by the analogy, it is that complicated. If I don't do it that way, I am trampling upon the rights of other individuals in this world who can feel pain and suffering just like me. That is my first point. And second thing is, just letting you know, Vishwa, if you did not know this, did you know that if you eat chicken or any other animal, by the way, did you know that their feed is fortified with B12? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you know. So if you think this is like going around in circles and picking it up, we are at the moment breeding animals into existence, taking plant food, feeding it to the animal is eating the food, eating even the B12. Look it up if you want. They eat B12 supplements. They then store the nutrients in their body. Then we kill that animal and eat the animal. Isn't that a roundabout process? We are literally filtering the nutrients that our body needs through someone's body. What is this?
It's not only for the B12 that the B12 is something that we have brought to discussion on this table as a first point of discussion. Okay. It is not only for the B12 that we are consuming animals. The B12 is only one
protein, many other things.
Small yet important part of it.
But the essential one. My point is that because even if you say protein, for example, you obviously know that through plant.
So I would take this for B12, this for protein, this for calcium, this for vitamin D, that for etc. etc. Instead, all I need to do is take one chicken biryani and it's all there in it.
Exactly. But then that's where the ethical qualm comes in, right? Because see, you can Of course. Can you? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Should you? That's the question.
Okay, before I answer the question.
Yeah.
See, you have been, or rather, both of us have been discussing only the economy, the part of it. The whether somebody would be able to in this country would be able to afford this. Let alone that, even if somebody is able to afford it, I'm talking about the education and mindset of millions of people in this country who, in spite of having more affordability than you and me, yet would not want to go for it basically because of all this meta-analysis and whatever, the fancy jargons that we just put across.
But they're not jargon, Vishwa. They're not jargon.
No, those things, it's not jargon for you. It's way of life for you. For them, it is a huge thing because they can't even relate to it.
My friend, I'm sure even you will understand that science is not jargon. Science is not jargon.
How many people who even do you think even know science in this world? I don't have to know science to eat food.
But just because they don't know doesn't mean that they are necessarily right. Right? You're asking me how is it possible that we can convince them? How will they even understand? But my idea right now is to throw my message everywhere. Whoever receives it, receives it. I can't be like, well, person A, B, C will not listen to me, therefore I'll stop speaking. That doesn't make any sense.
I would not be against veganism without any rhyme or reason, just for the purpose of being against veganism. If that makes logical sense to me, if all these things, the inconveniences caused therein, if all those inconveniences are addressed, then I wouldn't have any problem in being a vegan or asking people to be vegan.
What exactly do you feel as an inconvenience, Vishwa? Popping in a pill is an inconvenience?
How many pills do you how many things should I take? See, there is another question of availability, especially when it comes down to the rural places. Suppose tomorrow these two are not available.
I told you, let's leave out the 90%. I'm saying if someone doesn't have right now 100 to 120 rupees per day to be a vegan, then okay.
Availability, accessibility. It's not just money. It's not just economy.
I'm right now telling you, let's talk about the privileged class. Let's say right now the 90% is off the hook right now. Okay, because I'm saying if they don't have availability, I can't go and tell someone who doesn't have the option to go and choose the option. I get that completely. But what about the 10% who do have the option?
Even if I have the option, tell me one good reason. Why should I? See, I have tasted non-vegetarian. I'm a hardcore non-vegetarian. I have tasted non-vegetarian. I have liked it. Today I've come to a point, you have the right person sitting opposite you, because I'm a person who's 90 degrees opposite to you.
Okay.
Today I have come to a position where I cannot eat a day without non-vegetarian. That kind of a person I am. So being what I am, why should I go all around to do all these things and in the process sacrifice my taste buds as well? Compromise on my taste requirements as well. Why should I do that? I've tasted this all these years.
Right. So have I, by the way, yeah.
So all these decades and years I have tasted non-vegetarian, I've liked it. So and I'm getting all my vitamins and minerals and whatever I need for my good health, I'm getting out of it. So what on earth would prevent me to give it, what on earth would prod me or convince me to give all these up just for the sake of one reason that the animals are dying painfully? Probably I can find ways and means of consuming the animals that I consume without letting them die painfully. Would that convince you?
No, that wouldn't convince me. But now we are slowly slipping into the ethics and philosophy. But I think we'll just wrap this up first and then we'll move on to that segment.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So wait, you initially started by saying that there are people in this country who cannot afford these things, who are not well educated, who would not know how to make the right choice. And let's just say I agree with you on that completely. Let's just keep that aside right now. But there are, wouldn't you agree, millions of people who are educated, who have the ability to choose, who have the options available, and they can choose this. Do you agree that that option is also open for millions? Just like how it's not open for a billion, it is open for millions.
No, I think that way, whatever I said now, without even before wrapping this up, it makes pretty much sense to bring it up here, because this 10% also, why should they do that? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
So you want the why right now, basically.
Why should they do that?
All right. The why is a few reasons. Number one, we don't realize this, but what we are doing to animals right now it's completely in contradiction to all of the other values that you and me hold as human beings in this society. And I can break it down to you logically as we go further. It's a slaughterhouse, a dairy farm, an egg hatchery, goes against every single viewpoint that we hold as human beings. Like, as humans in society, we believe in equality, freedom, justice. This is the kind of words we use. You speak up for social justice in your videos. Well, it is actually very hypocritical for someone to speak about justice while consuming injustice.
I really don't understand this. You are equating two different things.
Which two things am I equating?
Let me see. See, this is where I find logical fallacy here.
Go on.
Okay, so whatever you're trying to put across as rational, where I'm finding a logical fallacy is there is a huge difference between equating human to human and human to an animal. Again, you might probably bring up the concept of speciesism. So there again, I'm telling you where I find the logical fallacy. See, human to human is a kingdom that we have created for ourselves. That is why and when we have evolved.
Based on? We created it based on what?
Based on whatever we required, what we required to evolve further.
So based on what we require does not necessarily equate to it has to have been a logical sequence, because we might have done it for survival. Just because I do something today in a life or death situation for survival doesn't necessarily mean that equates to moral actions.
Precisely, you said that yourself. See, for instance, today, if you think making use of animals for anything like lab test or entertainment or consuming physical consumption, anything is immoral, then I would say, but for rats and other rodents, rabbits or whatever you have, for if they were not used as in the testing and analysis of various medications, surgeries, and various medical inventions, today we would be deprived of any of these the medical advancement, whatever we have in terms of medical advancement, we would have been completely in deprivation of all these things. So do you think to save a few rats and lizards, I should give up on my children and babies who would suffer illness, or old people who would suffer illness without, deprive them of such medicines and let them die? So which of these beings are more reasonable to die according to you?
Okay. So in my opinion, both do not deserve to die. Be it the chicken that's used for food, be it the mouse that's used for testing, or be it the human like yourself, neither. I'm saying no one here needs to die. Now, can I provide at the moment a foolproof solution to make sure that everyone lives happy? No. At the moment, I cannot provide that. But what I can do is I can pave a clear path forward to one day eventually create that. But that requires those right now who are privileged to acknowledge their privilege and then take accountability and take action. Not say that because Arvind doesn't have a foolproof solution to all the problems, valid ones by the way, that you are naming, I refuse to now, since he can't give me, it's like saying like this. Say we had a quiz right now, there are 100 questions in it. Say you know the answer to 98 questions, you don't know the answer to 2. Just because you don't know the answer to 2 doesn't mean you'll keep the entire paper blank. You'll still answer all 98.
Correct.
Arvind at the moment can offer you a solution to 95 to 98 problems happening to animals. Other 2% he acknowledges are problems, but he's not going to ask you to compromise your well-being to solve that. I will give you a clear path forward. I can draw for you like a blueprint and show how we can take this forward and solve everything. And eventually on the other side, we will reach a world where neither of the individuals have to be exploited.
You say that you will do it, but at this point in time where we are sitting and having a discussion of this sort, I'm telling you, without having to compromise on the lives of rats and rodents, we cannot have medicines. Without having to compromise on the lives of chicken and fish, we cannot have protein, we cannot have B12. See, I have developed a concept called BidCops. I don't know if you've heard of it. Okay. I wouldn't say I have developed. I've hit upon a concept. I've come across a concept called BidCops. So BidCops is B for vitamin B. Can I read it? Read it from here? Okay. B for B12 vitamin. Okay. I for iron. D for D vitamin. C for calcium. O for omega-3 fatty acids, which we've already discussed. And P for protein and Z for zinc. Okay. Now, breaking them down, we've already spoken about omega. B12 vitamin, yes. I have told you it can cause anemia, neurological issues, a lot of issues if not taken in the right quantum. And then iron is C. You must have heard of this heme iron and non-heme iron.
Yeah.
See, that there again, you can, let me quote somebody called Professor Martin Warren, who had spoken about vitamins and, B12 and iron. Plant iron is less bioavailable, risking of anemia. Absorption of non-heme iron by body is 2 to 15%, while that of heme iron from animal sources is a minimum of 18 to 35%. That itself falsifies all the other claims that a vegan diet is more healthy.
I never said it's more healthy. I never made that statement. I said you can be as healthy as an omnivore. I never said more healthy.
And even for being as healthy, it proves it directly. It's a direct
You
proof.
have made one quote, yes, but Vishwa, one small thing I want to say. We are jumping from topic to topic at the moment because we were talking about the ethics, and I told I can draw a roadmap for you and show you how we can move forward. But then we again jumped into nutrition.
See, the ethics have to be have a basis, right?
But no, my point is that if we bring up a topic, let us conclude it and then move on to the next one.
Okay, so now you want to talk the health part of it now or ethic part of
Ethics
it?
part. We've moved to the ethics part right now.
Okay, let's talk. Let's complete the ethics part.
So
of
my
it
ethics part is this right now. At the moment, we vegans do not have a solution to animal testing. We are working on it through the following methods. There is something called as organoids. Just like right now, if you test something on a live animal, it's called in vivo testing. If you test it in a test tube, it's called in vitro. If you test it on a computer through AI, it's called in silico. And if you test it on something called as an organoid, which is right now we have this ability to create tiny human organs, an organ system in a small petri dish and test drugs on that. It's called in organoid. So people are working and trying to right now replace those current existing animal testing methods through these methods.
What is this organoid? Could you just explain?
Organoid is basically, I don't know exactly how they're formed. Imagine like a human lung or a human heart. They actually managed to create a tiny one that's this big, that is exactly like a human heart, replicates, and they can...
A prototype kind of thing.
I don't know if you can call it a prototype exactly, but you can Google it if you want. It's called organoid. So an organoid is...
Or a regenerated one.
Not regenerated per se. I don't know the exact technology, how they used to make it, but it's a miniature human organ.
Okay, which is not a real human organ. Because that's most important as far as this argument goes. This factor is very important. Is this a real human organ or not a real human
By
organ?
real, is it made from human cells? Are you asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made from human cells.
Made from human cells.
Of course, it's made from human cells.
So it will react exactly the way a human lung would react when given the right kind of medication.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
please go on.
we are having this technology right now and these things exist. Now, can these things completely take over every single thing being done by animal testing right now? The answer is no, it cannot. There are certain things which vegans still have to work on and create new technology. So when the option is not yet there, if I were to right now condemn animal testing, it will just be called as armchair activism, meaning I will just be condemning something without being able to actually provide a solution, which is something I don't want to do.
Okay.
So that is why I don't necessarily, again, if you bring it up and you want to say like, hey, aren't you vegans hypocrites because you take medication? Fair enough. Feel free to call us that. I have no issues but we are not hypocrites because we feel the animal who's being tested in the lab has less value. We are being hypocrites because we are saying we don't know what to do. That's a big difference here.
Yes.
Okay. When we say we don't know, when we don't have a solution, I'm being honest, we don't know. But when it comes to food, when it comes to the animals you eat for food and the animals you wear for clothing or even used in the name of entertainment, religion, whatever it is, for that we do have a solution, especially when it comes to food. For example, and again, before we even go again to the food part, I want to talk about the ethical part. You said that it is kind of crazy to compare an animal to a human, right? And what you based this on what? Like, why do you find that comparison to be so obscene? Like, what do you see?
It's nature has pushed us not to do so because we have evolved from nature, by nature, and nature has given you certain do's and don'ts, which will take you across, which has taken us across all these thousands of years, and which is going to take you across for another millions of years. Now, according to nature, it is very right to eat animals because we've all evolved as animals. We have eaten animals. It's like, would you go to a lion and say, "Don't eat a deer"? You wouldn't, and I'm sure you wouldn't even come back alive.
I would not say that because the lion does not have a cognitive ability like you do. It cannot think as rationally as you can. It doesn't have the thought
Precisely. You have answered your question yourself. See, we are human beings who have evolved with cognitive ability, a sense of rational, sense of understanding. So when we have evolved, and even after the evolution, we know that. See, you agree with yourself that humans have evolved with cognitive ability.
Yes.
If we have evolved with cognitive ability, you're kind of you're agreeing to that.
Of course, it's a fact. Yeah,
fact. So if we have evolved with cognitive ability, intellects, understanding, intelligence, everything, and we still eat something called we eat non-vegetarian. It means that with all the cognitive ability, intelligence, we have chosen to eat it. So how can that be a logical fallacy? How can there be a logical fallacy?
No, not necessarily, because sometimes we just get habit. People learn things by habit as well. We just do things that we've been taught without questioning it. So just because right now I choose to eat a particular way of food, say I was not a vegan, I've been eating everything that my mother and my grandmother have cooked for me all my life, and I make the same food, that's out of habit, not because I chose that recipe. That's all that I've learned.
If humans have not questioned whatever they have been doing, this level of evolution would not have happened.
Yeah, but you realize that evolution is not only about humans killing other animals, it also involves humans killing other humans.
It is like, no. Human killing other human is something to do with the kind of laws and legal structure that we have caused. We have formed. Humans were killing humans once upon a time. There was no legal...
But you used those humans, you compared their behavior to our current behavior right now, didn't you? You said that humans used to kill animals, right? And you compared their behavior to modern day humans. So what's wrong if I compare right now that's those same humans who used to kill each other to modern day humans?
Exactly. So that is where evolution has taught us what to do and what not to do.
Evolution does not teach us what to do. That is morality, Vishwa. Morality is a human construct. Evolution is just nature.
No. Man has evolved from killing a human to not killing a human today. Man has evolved from not respecting another human being to respecting another human being today. Man has evolved from not loving a dog or a cat to loving a pet today.
You are making a mistake here. You were initially talking when it comes to food about biological evolution. Here, when you talk about evolution, you're talking about evolution of morality. That evolution and this evolution is a different thing. Here, you're using the word evolution in two different ways. You realize that one evolution was the biological evolution.
Evolution is in entirety.
No. You have to be clear in which concept you're using it. Have you heard of this game called Pokemon?
Yeah.
Even Pokemon evolve, but that is not the same as this. Okay, just because we use the word, sometimes the words we use change during the context where we use them, right?
Yeah.
So when you initially said evolution and spoke about humans consuming animals, I agree that's a biological adaptation that we humans have made. Now, when you say we humans have evolved from not killing humans to not killing humans, that's not a biological adaptation we have made. That is a change in our moral code because we thought about it.
It's not a biological adaptation, it's a moral adaptation.
So why are we now comparing biology to morality here?
Because since we are discussing morality here, I'm telling you, morally also we have evolved, but in spite of the evolution, if we are still killing animals for our food, it means that nature wants you to do so.
But that's kind of a flawed argument because let's just say we we go back by some 1,000 years, and at that point in time, let's assume that humans still killed other humans. Even right now, humans kill humans, but not to the degree, or we at least have better laws right now from infringing our rights. Thank goodness we do. So if we go back, you are right now saying we went from there to here and using this endpoint. But if that's a logical statement, I should be able to use that same logic anywhere throughout human history. I should be able to go back even 1,000 years ago and say like, hey, look Vishwa, back 1,000 years ago, humans were still killing other humans. So was it all right then?
No, it wasn't.
So how can we now make an absolute statement that killing other humans is all right? I mean, not all right, only because now we have managed to achieve that. You get my point?
See, you are comparing human race to human race it's within one single race. You are comparing that with another race completely. Animal is another race.
You say that maybe you are a decent human being, a kind-hearted human being, so you say such things. But you do realize within our species there are racists, there are misogynists, there are homophobic people, there are people who kill others based on religious beliefs, right? Just because you happen to be decent to other human beings doesn't necessarily mean that other humans are decent to other human beings.
No, that is why the legal structure has been formed.
Legal structure is formed right now. Hopefully,
if you're not decent to another human being, you have the legal implications.
Yeah, right now. So, are you saying that because it is illegal right now, it's wrong?
No, we have made it illegal because we have deemed it wrong.
There was a point in time where it was legal, and we had to fight to make it illegal. So,
Correct.
With that logic, couldn't it also be said that right now we are in a point where exploiting animals is legal and considered all right? Doesn't mean that tomorrow we can't reach a point where it's also immoral.
Because there was no strong argument to defend that by killing another human being, there is a mass gain for a huge, quite a lot of people out here. The entire society, entire social setup gains. Tomorrow, if I set out to kill a few human beings, there is no strong argument to support that it would help a huge society in entirety if I can get to kill a few human beings. Whereas if I kill a few animals and eat them, if it is medically and in all possible ways, it is benefiting an entire mankind. So that is why man has still not deemed it
So
illegal.
If what you're saying is a logical argument, Vishwa, that should be able to be applicable in every scenario. Do you agree? If it's not applicable, what you're saying just because killing other humans does not give Vishwa benefit, therefore killing humans is wrong. Or does not give another group of humans benefit, therefore killing humans is wrong. That's the claim you made right now.
There is a natural cycle, Arvind. There is, see when it comes to fish, for instance, the fish in the sea they have a purpose. Every one of us has a purpose in this world. Every organism in this world, every living and non-living, this has a purpose that it needs to be consumed for. It needs to be giving us water to drink. So everything has a purpose.
Comparing man-made stuff with natural stuff right now.
Even the natural stuff.
By making a comparison between man-made and natural, we are actually crossing a gap right now that leads to some.
Okay, let's forget this. Let's come back to your own argument. Take fish, for instance. Fish in this world was created for a certain purpose.
So you just without you believe in creation.
I believe in creation.
You believe in God.
Yeah, I don't believe in God. It was created. I said. I never said who created it. It was created.
But you believe in creation.
Creation, not the creator.
But do you also accept evolution?
Yeah, of course I accept. So evolution is always bound by certain restrictions. Evolution cannot be. You cannot evolve to do everything in anything. That is where mankind has been more intellect than the animal kind.
No, hold on. We have to go like blitzing through a lot of different things right now, and sometimes you do make points which I want to come back to because they are not actually logically sound. Like when you made the argument saying that there is no benefit for this group of people to get by killing that group of people, therefore we shouldn't kill. There's
no reasonable benefit.
So that is actually a very, very poor argument, because if we just read history, the amount of killings we have done to each other, be it by Europeans to us Indians, Europeans to Africans, you know how much benefit they got by making us their slaves? Our ancestors are slaves to the British. So much benefit for the British.
That's why I said reasonable benefits, reasonably accepted.
Reasonable by whom? Accepted by whom, Vishwa?
So the majority of mankind.
So if the majority...
Theory of majority.
That's a fallacy. Appeal to popularity fallacy. Just because everyone agrees something does not make an argument right, Vishwa?
If I don't do something what I have been doing, the whole mankind would be, if the whole entire mankind would be... See, making you my slave or not making you my slave will not... destroy me completely, but not eating a meat or not getting certain vitamins and minerals into my body, I might be destroyed.
If you don't get it from some source, the body doesn't care about what source you get it from. It matters whether you get the nutrient or not. But again, coming back to the whole morality subject, Vishwa, that is you're being slightly dishonest here. Humans benefit greatly from exploiting other humans. That's the whole crux of everything. All the power struggles throughout society so far. Men get so much benefit from being misogynistic to the women in their lives.
True.
Yeah. So I am saying that if you
That's precisely why we have drawn certain legal boundaries and social boundaries.
But how did we come to the understanding that what we are doing is wrong, Vishwa? How did we come to that understanding? How did we finally end up at least coming to... I don't think the world right now is perfect by any stretch. Even in regards to human rights, it's so messed up. There's still so much cleaning up to do right now in society. But how did we even come here?
That's again a relative question, Arvind, because see, laws were formed.
How?
To favor the majority.
So you are saying that is how always it has been. Does that make things right though?
See, today the law tells you you cannot kill a person, you cannot steal money from a person. I can keep questioning the law. Why do you have to say that? How do you say that? I will steal money. On what basis do you say I should not steal? It is because out of 100 people in this world, let's say the world has only 100 people, 99 people or 98 people understand, appreciate and agree that a person should not steal money from someone else. So based on that and based on certain factors like what one loses by if someone else steals from me, what I lose if someone else steals from me, what I lose if you kill me or kill my my.
So you're basically empathizing with the fellow human.
I'm not empathizing. This is about how the laws have been formed. What is the basis of such a law as that? The basis is that the majority of people have agreed, 98 out of that 100 have agreed, because it makes sense to the 98 people. 98 people feel that it is good for them not to steal money, it is good for them not to get killed.
Right, but
that is how the laws have been formed.
Yeah,
and we have respected those laws.
Yes, but you have to understand there have been times, even right now, I can't quote a law right now, but at least in the past, say somewhere like North Korea, where Kim Jong-un is ruling, there the laws are very different.
Do you think you're talking about a small minority? Even the whole world is despicable. That's a despicable land.
But they still are following their laws there. Are their laws wrong, Vishwa? It's a yes or no question.
There is no right or wrong. Their laws are not acceptable to the rest of the world.
But so you would not condemn them. You would not call it wrong.
I would condemn them. I may not call it. I have no. I have no locus standi to call it wrong.
Really?
I cannot call it wrong. North Korean rule, I cannot call it wrong, but I will say it is not acceptable to the rest of the world.
let's talk about you right now. It's not acceptable to you.
It is not acceptable to me and the likes of me.
Okay, why is it not acceptable to people like yourself?
That there is no sense of freedom. There is no sense of expression. There is no freedom of expression. There is nothing that whatever happens inside that North Korea is not even known to the world.
All right.
The country is totally sealed.
I know. Yeah.
So whatever there is no freedom. See, basically freedom for mankind. I know where how you'll counter it. Freedom to mankind is a law that has been widely accepted across the world. More than 3/4 of the world accepts that man has to be free. Man has to express free. That is why democracy is hailed by maximum countries today.
Okay, so if we had a scenario in which let's say, even right now, I believe the population of men is higher than women in the world. I'm not sure about it. But let's assume we reach a position where men is now 70%, women is 30%. And majority of the men feel that dominating, subjugating, and not giving equal rights to women is the right way to go forward. Does that now make it the right way to go forward?
Not now. It was right once upon a time.
So was it right even then, Vishwa?
It was right. I wouldn't say right. I mean, it was felt as right once upon a time.
But I'm asking you, it
was deemed right once upon a time.
Like how we have black and white, was it right or wrong is my question.
Now it will not be right.
Now, why not? Why can't we have universal social standards? Like I would say,
because we've evolved from there.
But why do you not condemn what they did back then?
Of course, I'm condemning what they did.
Unless
and until I had condemned that, we would not have evolved to this today. We wouldn't be having women's rights.
Okay, but then the people from those times, if they would right now come and see what's happening right now, they will think what a nasty society, because they think we have gone to the dogs because we have now given women liberties and freedom and rights.
See, there is something called human rights, women's rights, and likewise animal rights as well. But even those so-called protectors of animal rights who are at the hem of affairs in this world, even they do not condemn you or they do not ask you not to eat animal meat. They have classified.
Yeah, they are hypocrites. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Don't call them hypocrites. See, I watched one of your videos where you said, if you can eat a chicken, why not a dog, or why not a cat? See, that's a preference. That's not a rational argument. That's a preference. There are still people who are eating dogs.
I'm aware.
There are people, Nepal or eastern side of India itself, and probably across the world, there are millions of people who are still eating dogs and cats. But I don't. Because that's my preference. Say, I was eating all non-vegetarian possible, but today I have given up on beef and pork, not because I think cow is sacred or anything. Not because I've developed a special love and affection for the cows and pigs out there. No, because I'm not enjoying eating beef and pork from the taste perspective, whatever perspective. So I have probably the health perspective. My body doesn't accept it. So as a preference, I have given up on eating beef and pork. But I eat almost all other non-vegetarian. I eat chicken, fish, mutton, everything I eat. I consume even octopus. That is a preference. For some non-vegetarian sitting next to me who eats everything, I've had people tell me, non-vegetarian people tell me, how do you even eat octopus? Come on, yeah, I know you're a non-vegetarian, so am I, but how do you eat that exactly is your argument. If you can eat chicken, why can't you eat dog? I will eat dog if I have to. If I want to. In certain countries, eating certain animals are prohibited. Like for instance, deer. I would probably love to eat a deer, with due respects to legal, legal implications. I might probably love to eat a deer, yet I will not eat a deer because in this part of the world, eating deer or killing deer is prohibited by the law. So that is respect of law. So the respect of law, taste priorities, these are ones which make the difference between eating a dog and eating a kid.
You cannot use law again here to justify because there's an appeal to legality fallacy. I'm just saying laws change. Everything Hitler did during his time was legal. Okay, so let's not say because something is legal, it's right. That will not hold up anywhere. That's an illogical statement. Appeal to legality fallacy. Second thing about preference. So what's happening here is that you are talking about your preference, what you like and dislike. Fair enough.
Right.
Do you agree that in this particular situation when we're talking about animals, that there is a victim involved?
Who is the victim?
The animal.
So why are the plants not then? Plants have lives too. Just because plants don't complain of pain doesn't mean plants it doesn't pain for the plant.
Why do you compare plants and animals right now as one?
They both are living beings. Why do you compare animals and humans? Because both are living beings.
No, I did not say that.
If animals were not living beings and they would not feel the pain, would you complain?
I did not say that, Vishwa. I did not say I'm comparing them because they're living beings. I did not make that statement.
Okay, then you tell me, why would you compare animal and a human?
Sure, I'm comparing animals and humans because both are sentient creatures, meaning that both are capable of being, not all animals by the way, Some animals like jellyfish and clams and oysters don't fall into this category scientifically.
So you're okay with eating that?
I won't eat them, but I don't have a qualm with others eating them.
So no, do they come under veganism?
They don't come under veganism, but I don't have a qualm with people eating them. No.
So if you come across a vegan, a hardcore vegan like you, who eats a jellyfish, would you still call him a vegan?
No, he's not a vegan, but I have no qualm with him eating.
Why is he not a vegan?
Because vegans do not eat anything that comes from animals. It's a principle, like I told you. We do not
But
eat.
you just said if they don't feel a pain, you can make a
But they are
difference.
still technically they're classified under the animal kingdom. It's a classification issue here. At that point, it's a we have classified them under animal kingdom.
Okay.
We don't take anything from animals. That's it. So if you take something from animals,
you're not a vegan.
Not a vegan, obviously. Yeah, there could be even a person, right? So we'll come to that later.
Go on. Please go on.
My point is that I'm comparing sentient life to other sentient life. That is, both these organisms, be it a human or a non-human animals, the ones we exploit, the vertebrate animals like cows, chickens, pigs, fish, goats, ducks, and sheep. These animals also have a brain. They have a central nervous system. They have the ability to feel pain and suffering, love and joy. They care for their young ones just like how we humans care for our own young ones. It's not like we value our lives more than they value their own lives. We all, as living sentient organisms, value our own lives the exact same way. With that being the case, it makes absolutely perfect sense to compare a human to an animal when it comes to pain and suffering, because they both suffer the same way.
Okay, what if an animal, I can get an animal killed for consumption without letting it have a pain of it?
No, it'll be just as wrong as killing a human being who wants to live without making them feel pain. Because you're taking away the life of an organism who wants to live, but just without feeling pain. You're taking away the right to life, is what I'm saying.
See, that is the chain of nature, what I'm trying to tell you. That's the chain of nature we are. See, why do you want to assume that an animal has a feeling and it will pain?
I'm not assuming it. It's a fact, right?
It is a fact, right? Okay. Right. So does a plant in that case. But plant also have feelings. Have you ever heard of plants? When you have a big garden of sorts and you passionately grow plants, I have seen a lot of, even my wife does it. I have seen a lot of people go to the plants and talk to them. I have initially considered that as insane. I used to ask my wife, what on earth are you doing? And she stands in the balcony and does it, with a complete view of so many others. People who think you're mad. And she said, no, if I talk to this curry leaf plant, it grows well. They believe that plants are lives which can hear, which can feel, which can relate to human beings. When the only thing plants can't do that you and I can do or animals can do is shout out if you have a pain. But the curry leaf grows out and passionately gives itself to you to be consumed. That is why it grows. Otherwise, it wouldn't grow.
So what you are saying is how you view this world, but this is not necessarily scientific logic. A curry leaf does not grow for itself to give itself to you. It just happens to have the right stimulus and nutrients required, and it happens to grow. That's it. Even if we didn't speak to it and still gave it the nutrients and required sunlight and water, it is still going to grow. Like what you're saying is how you are perceiving this current scenario. That doesn't necessarily make it true.
No, because your argument seems to be harping on one fact that an animal feels the pain while the plant doesn't.
Yeah, that's pretty much one of that's like the main point. Yeah.
How do you say plants don't feel the pain?
Because for the same,
they don't express pain.
I will tell you. Because for the exact same reason, a plant can't have a heart attack. A plant can't have kidney stones. It's because they don't have the necessary organs like a heart or a kidney to even have those problems with those organs to occur, right? Similarly, to feel pain and suffering, an organism needs to have a brain, a central nervous system connected to various organs like ocular receptors to see, sonar receptors to hear, olfactory receptors to smell, gustatory to taste, and tactile to touch and feel. If you understand that plants cannot have kidney stones because they don't have kidneys, a plant can't feel a heart attack because they don't have a heart, why on earth would you assume a plant can feel pain and suffering? They don't have any of the organs.
So according to you, you can thrive on plant kingdom. You can eat plants and thereby avoid eating animals. Okay.
That is
that's the objective. Yeah, that's what you're fighting for.
I'll agree to that point. Yeah,
that's what you're fighting for.
I'll agree. Yeah.
Imagine, the whole world accepts your theory, and all of us tomorrow become plant-based. We don't eat animals anymore.
Okay.
And according to you, you should not harm animals at all.
I did not say. Notice my definition of veganism. And in the beginning, I told you very clearly, I'm not talking about being
killing animals.
I said killing. I did not say we should live our lives. What do you call being kind to animals or not harming?
No. I'm talking about you. You don't believe whatever your actions should not be responsible for the death of an animal.
That will be an obscene statement for me to make because this world is so I could walk on the road, Vishwa, and I can stamp on an ant. Like this world.
That is doing something without your knowledge, involuntary action. I'm talking about voluntarily, knowing your action would kill an animal, would you do that?
It depends
Because
on
you
what-
said veganism is not just restricted to eating animals.
Yeah,
It is
we
about
don't exploit animals, meaning that we do not commodify animals and then take things from them. We don't killing them. Okay, but go on. How about this? Let's proceed.
Yeah, see,
Let's proceed.
tomorrow,
Let's proceed,
if you increase the plant kingdom, point number one, you need to destroy for forest. That will cause an animal depletion. Point number two, even to grow plants on a massive scale, you have to kill living beings like insects, worms, rats, rodents. Everything have to snakes. Everything have to be killed by using certain chemicals or in whatever other means in order for you to get your plants. So either to get my vitamins or minerals from animals, I kill animals, or to get my vitamins and minerals from plants, and for those plants to grow safely, I kill animals. So where does your ideology go here?
And that's actually a big distinction in the points you made. I want to explain that, like with let's first, without even talking about animals, I'll explain the exact same thing in 3 different ways in regards to human rights, and with that, if we just extrapolate that to animal rights, it will make complete sense.
Okay.
So number one, let's say for example, person A kills person B with the intent to kill them. In law, we call that as murder with premeditation, aka manslaughter. That is, this person is killing this person. It's a first degree murder. Second is person A is driving on the road cautiously, carefully, properly. Person B happens to be drunk, not giving a hoot about what's happening around him, walks into the road, in the middle, gets killed.
That's not his fault.
That is not person A's fault. It is not the same as a first degree murder. It is not done with intention to kill.
Correct.
Okay. Third is person A lives in our society. Person A buys products, he pays taxes, he is living like any other citizen. His taxpayer money is now being taken and it's being used to pay people who are of political power, pay many of our civil servants, and also being used to pay wherever Indian government needs to pay money. All of that is being paid through my money, your money, and person A's taxpayer money. And we don't know exactly what is the extent our money is being used for exactly.
Correct.
It could be used to produce bullets that are then being lodged into the heads of children we don't even know. It could be used in paying you to the taxes of United Nations, because remember, we have to pay them a certain cut every year, and they could be using that money to do peacekeeping missions across the world. You know, peacekeeping mission means basically psh, 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 psh. So our money is going there. So that means person A is right now locked within a system that he or she cannot escape from, and they are contributing to it without even knowing that violence is happening. For example, we are enjoying the privileges of nuclear power, but we don't know what kind of suffering the person who is working in the nuclear power plant is facing because of the radiation exposure.
Absolutely right.
You and me are buying probably a house tomorrow.
Even a diamond mine for that matter.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
You and me are buying a house tomorrow. We don't know if every single laborer who worked in that house was properly paid, properly treated with respect, given proper headgear. We don't know anything. Yet we're still a part of the system. What I'm trying to say is there are 3 things here. First degree premeditated murder regarding a human. Second is an accident. And third is systemic, that sometimes goes far beyond your control. And for changing certain things, you unfortunately have to be a part of the messed up system and change it from within. You can't sit out and change, because if you try to sit out, you'll die.
Why, Arvind? Why can't you tell the government, regardless of what kind of war a country is planning to wage against us, I don't want humans killed. So let us not have radiation. Let us not have guns. Let us not have. Why don't you tell your government?
That would be armchair activism again, Vishwa. Because shouldn't I live my life in accordance with that first before making a statement? I should be like, Arvind will now no longer use electricity that made from nuclear power plants. Arvind will not be taking. I have to first make sure I line my life in everything.
Precisely. I don't go out killing an animal, point number 1. I don't accidentally drive and kill an animal on the road, point number 2. In a systemic, what was the word you used? Let me use the same thing. Systemic.
Sometimes you have to be within a system.
Being within a system. In my effort to being within a system and respecting the system, if an animal is killed and served to me on the table, I'm not directly responsible for having killed the animal.
The difference here is that you have the ability to stand out of this system and still be perfectly fine. That's the difference. You have the choice. Whereas in the other areas, you don't. For example, I cannot tell you, Vishwa, from tomorrow, you and me stop paying taxpayer money. It doesn't work like that.
No, you see, like you're telling the people not to encourage the killing of animal for your own benefit, of especially for consumption. You can also tell the government not to kill people for your own benefit.
Tell the government, what does that imply? Like, tell me exactly what is the action step by step I should take that make sure the statement.
Let us look at the implications first. Implications.
No, but when you said say to the government, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean?
Why don't you tell the government, don't make arms, don't make...
by say, like, well, you want me to hire a studio and then make a video and put it on YouTube? Like, tell me exactly what I should do.
See, I'm not talking about the modus operandi here. You have an ideology and you're conveying it to the masses through whatever means. You're telling people, stop eating non-vegetarian from tomorrow because you would be saving a lot of lives. I'm telling
not
you.
saving lives. That's not my statement. But yeah, but go on. I'm not
Animal
saying,
lives. See.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have no right to exploit them. It's not about saving.
Okay, you have no rights exploiting them for your own benefits.
Yes, when
Right?
it's clearly avoidable. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, when it is clearly avoidable.
Yes, exactly.
I'm telling you, because in spite of the fact that my claim is that in spite of the fact that my contention is that you might have physical implications. Likewise, when you go to a state and tell the state not to produce arms and ammunitions, in spite of the fact that there will be political implications, I might have physical implications, the country has political implications. Implication is an implication. So why don't you address your concerns to the government, to the state, to the lawmakers?
Again, that's why I'm asking you to be specific. When you say address, when I say be vegan, it's very clear. It means if you Vishwa decides to go vegan from right now, it's very clear. What's he going to do? He's going to stop buying meat, dairy, eggs, and honey. He probably has to decide what kind of nutrients he needs to get from supplements, what kind of plant-based food he needs to eat, set up a proper lifestyle, and he just goes about it. So it's very clear what I'm asking of you, right? When I say, hey, Vishwa, go vegan, you understand exactly what I'm asking of you, right? There's no confusion what I'm asking, right? Now, when you say, Arvind, why don't you tell the government, what are you asking of me? Tell me exactly what you want me to do.
See,
Else you're deflecting.
I'm not deflecting,
Okay,
Arvind.
then what do you want me to do exactly? How do I tell the government? What do I do?
How do I tell you is your, that's up to you. How do you want to tell the government? You have to tell the government that.
That becomes armchair activism again. Because if I am telling you, Vishwa, there's a problem regarding animals here. Oh my God, boo-hoo, there's a problem. That means nothing. Hey, there's a problem. At the moment you're causing it, you can stop it. Just do this instead. See how I've drawn a clear roadmap for you, right? I'm telling you a problem exists. You're a part of it. You can choose to stop it. This is the way to go forward.
See, that again is very, very relative because I need to know whether that is feasible. There is something called feasibility.
Yeah, we can come to feasibility.
See, you have drawn a path. But what you've done is drawn a path. You have not shown a path.
I will show the path as we speak, go further. But at the moment, at least I'm drawing a path. So right now, when I say, Vishwa, please be vegan.
See, I can take this paper and a pen and say, you take from right out of the studio, you go straight, take a left, take a right, you reach the beach, right? But practically, when I go there, if the road is blocked, if for some reason I'm not able to do it, then this paper is nothing, means nothing to me. Likewise, you have drawn a path. When I ask you, okay, now if I don't kill animals for consumption, how will I get my vitamin D? How will I get this? How will I get that?
I'm showing you.
You are, see how we've not seen the practical feasibility of this. This is not going to be practically feasible. You've only drawn the path. You've not shown the path.
Okay, we will come to. I fail to realize why this is not practical, but we'll come to that. But at least I've drawn the path.
Yeah.
Okay, I have drawn the path. Could you please draw the path for me when you keep saying, Arvind, you ought to speak to the government? What is the path? I don't even see.
You could keep talking peace. Keep talking peace across the table.
Where, to whom? Like, what should I say?
No, not you. I'm trying to tell the government, instead of making arms and ammunition, instead of firing at your enemy, whenever he decides to fire at you, keep talking
again,
peace.
see.
This is the peace is the bottle which is in.
No, that's not the same comparison because
I'm putting peace inside this bottle.
that is just a figure of speech right now. See, you're being poetic, right? By saying you're putting peace in the bottle. Okay. I am telling you clearly, don't do this, do this instead. Okay. When you say convey to the government, there are multiple different modes through which I can convey something to the government. Which mode do you want me to take and what is the exact action you want me to do? If you are not able to say this, then it becomes...
How relevant is that?
Because you're the one who's asking something of me right now.
No, the mode of communication that you would prefer to make to a government or a lawmaker, how relevant is the mode of communication? I'm talking about the mindset to do the communication.
And I must communicate that they should not...
If you don't want animals to get killed for somebody's benefit, I'm telling you, don't kill even men, even humans for somebody's benefit. See, why government is making arms and ammunition is not because the government wants to be cruel to mankind. Every government wants to avoid wars at all costs. But in spite of that, if there is a Ukraine war happening, if there is an Iraq war happening, it is because it is inevitable and for defense. For my own, if tomorrow I have to live.
I am not talking only about defense. For example, it is possible that our government might take decisions that you and me agree with, and certain times we may not agree with. There are people in power. In fact, I have seen one of your videos. I don't want to go into complete detail about this because we will deviate from the topic, obviously. You had condemned a particular, not an individual, say, a group, an authority figure, because they had misused their power like crazy and had a person killed. I think you know exactly which I'm talking about. Yeah,
I remember.
You did condemn that severely. I saw that. Even when in regards to killing someone based on their caste, you have severely condemned those things.
Yes.
Now, the thing is that the caste example won't work here, but that person who was in authority and did those actions, you have to agree, Vishwa, it was your taxpayer money and my taxpayer money that is paying that man to still be and do his job.
Yeah, correct.
It's us. So can I now say because Vishwa is paying taxes, he's a first degree murderer?
No.
I can't. Similarly, you cannot say, Arvind, hey, you don't eat meat, dairy and eggs. However, you're still part of a system that involves spraying of pesticides and insecticides. Therefore, that and this is the same. You see the parallel I'm drawing here?
I would appreciate if you saw the parallel that I was drawing.
Okay, what is the parallel?
See,
Before we go to that, do you acknowledge my parallel makes sense or do you think it's nonsense? Just asking.
Your parallel makes sense for a discussion on a more practical scale, on a more practical front.
But right now we're still in the theoretical process right now. Let's say we're just in the drawing board. We're still writing up ideas right now. From a theoretical perspective, is my comparison of A to B valid here? If I say you are stuck in a system where you also are unfortunately involved, not implicitly, but like you're unknowingly complicit in many violences happening because you're a part of society which you can't escape from. It's same thing as me saying I am also part of the food system where at the moment I have power only to stop up until here. Beyond that, it goes beyond my control. At the moment, if this world is a vegan world tomorrow, we will find other ways.
Unless and until you show me the entire route till the end, till the very end, it's a very risky calculation, risky decision to accept this and follow you till a particular place in the route that you have charted out, beyond which if I cannot go.
It's impossible for any social.
It falsifies your own ideology.
It doesn't, because it's impossible for me. I cannot tell you. I can maybe draw point A, B, and C. I cannot show you X, Y, Z right now. How will I even know what's on the map until I face what's coming up ahead?
Because if you want to have veganism in entirety, you want to make the entire world vegan or the entire country vegan, you need to be very clear that if I agree with you, accept tomorrow, okay, I will not eat non-vegetarian anymore, I will go plant-based. This whole entire exercise of going plant-based should also ensure that there is no animal killed in the process.
Do you apply that same logic to everything else in your life? The logic was that if I make claim A, that no animal should be killed, which is, by the way, first of all, not a claim I'm making. But let's assume
for consumption.
From
the perspective of consumption,
I was very clear. It's impossible for us to do that, Vishwa. That's impossible. That's like saying, Arvind, if I say, for example, first degree murder is wrong, you cannot point at me and say like, well, can you stop all other forms of murder, Arvind? No, Vishwa, I can't. But I can stop premeditated murder in areas where clearly it's not necessary.
Exactly. So, first degree murder is despicable. It is wrong. Both of us agree on that.
I agree on that.
But if there is a first degree murderer, hanging him is not killing.
We are killing him, but we can consider it as justice if we want.
Justice. It is justice.
Yeah.
So when the killing is same, the concept of killing is same, but when he does a killing, it's called injustice. When the same person who has killed is being killed by the law in the name of hanging or whatever, as a sentence, legal sentence, then it is deemed justice.
Right.
So there is a difference.
Right. So how do we draw a parallel from that to veganism?
Exactly. So when I go out for the pleasure of hunting and kill some animal, let's say I kill a peacock, the peacock is not going to do any harm to me, nor is it going to be of any use to me once killed, if killed.
They're edible.
No, for instance, see, again, that's a priority. That's a preference. That's a preference. And I wouldn't say priority, it's a preference. I don't eat peacock. Or anything which is inedible as of now. A dog which is not wild, a dog which is not carrying it's not rabid, a dog which is simply lying on the street. If I go and shoot it or kill it, that becomes injustice. Because for no rhyme or reason. But if I kill a chicken, the procurement of which, the consumption of which will help me medically, physically, nourish my body, keep me from malnourishment, then I call it ethical. Simple.
So if I'm able to, but I just want to point out one small flaw I see here in what you said. And that is, you said that if you are doing it just for pleasure, it would be despicable. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. But you do eat meat, dairy and eggs for taste. Just saying.
Yeah, not just for taste. I eat it for health as well.
So that means that at the moment, am I right to say that the amount of meat you eat is apparently so properly measured that you only eat till exactly what your body desires? Or when you go outside to a restaurant, you want to eat fancy, you just order what's on the menu, right?
No. I eat only what my taste buds and my health accepts. Why I quit beef is not because I didn't like the taste, it's because of the health factor. Same with pork. I used to love pork, but I quit pork because my body didn't accept it. So it's a beautiful combination of taste and health. And just because I'm getting health through something, if my taste buds are not accepting, I wouldn't probably willfully take it unless and until a doctor prescribes it for me. From tomorrow, you have to eat eggs, Vishwa. If I suppose I'm not an egg eater, from tomorrow, you have to eat eggs for your health. Yeah, doctor said so. It's a medicine I will consume. But predominantly, it would be a perfect combination of taste buds and health. Unless and until it is useful to me in terms of health or useful to me in terms of taste, I will not eat it.
Okay. Now, before we go now into the nutritional aspect, because the claim you're making is you are required to eat it because your body needs it, which is what I want to contest. But before we go that, I want to just do one last exercise in this whole ethics aspect. Since we were talking about sentient life, insentient life, comparing of humans to animals, animals to plants, all this stuff, I want to ask you, there is something you see in humans or something you don't see, say, in an animal that makes you think or feel that a human life is superior to an animal life. There is something that is some distinction between a human and an animal that makes you hold the opinion.
Human life is definitely superior to animals.
You hold that opinion because you do see a distinction, right?
Yep.
Now, what is the distinction? Can you tell me?
Human is more intellect being. That's why he's a human and not an animal. See, even among animals, there are intelligent animals and unintelligent animals.
Are you talking about different species right now?
Yeah, different species.
Okay.
Even among animals, there are different species. You can call an elephant an intelligent animal. You can probably call a dog an intelligent animal. But there are other animals. I mean, I'm not in a position to list them right now. But there are millions of other animals who are not probably a crow or whatever, as intelligent as a dog or an elephant. So when there is a huge difference even among the animals in terms of different species, obviously a human being who has evolved out of the animals, the whole basic purpose of evolution itself, or the reason for evolution itself, was that this human race is definitely considered extremely way higher than animals. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here and talking using all these technologies.
Right. So, am I right to assume that intelligence is like one of the main distinctions?
It's predominant.
Predominantly. Okay, fine. Yeah. Then if we, however, were to check if what you're saying is logical or not, we'll again have to take that and apply it in another context and see. Let's say, for example, I show you a human who is mentally challenged. He is not intelligent at all. In fact, he is so unfortunately unintelligent, born that way, that he doesn't even have the capacity of intelligence of a dog or an elephant. Now, would we consider his life to be less valuable?
No, because he is, first of all, qualified to be a human being. You are only comparing between two human beings here.
No. This is where the logical error happens. When I asked you what is the difference you see between a human and animal, you said intelligence. You did not say it's because I'm human, I'm superior. You said it's because I'm more intelligent, I'm superior. But now you're saying it's because I'm human and I'm intelligent. So which one is it?
No, your the basic being a human itself is...
So being a human is the reason.
Is the criteria. That is the criteria. So intelligence is a factor that made you a human being.
So that when it comes to that criteria, are you talking about like that means our DNA or what is it? Because when
DNA. Yeah, absolutely right.
So you say that our DNA is what makes us superior.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Human race is a superior race.
Okay. So then by that regard, but do you agree that that's an arbitrary statement and not necessarily one that is said by factual statement? I'll make an example.
Biologically agreed that human race is the most intellectual race.
Under which subject? Because if you say science, of course, objectively you can make the statement that we are more intelligent. I'm not denying that. But now we are talking about, we're combining biology with morality because that's where we get ethics from. Philosophy, we are combining these two subjects together right now. When you make a statement that because we humans are more intelligent, we are therefore superior, a doubt does come up then. There are plenty of humans who are not so intelligent. There are plenty of humans who are super duper, like Einstein. We probably had only one Einstein in the history of our human race, probably. But would we consider right now that because he's more intelligent than Arvind, that my life is less valuable than his?
Very simple, Arvind. The answer is very simple. Whether you kill a human being or an animal, there has to be a logical reasoning for it. I'm able to kill an animal today. The law has permitted it because there is a huge amount of the huge number of uses. The huge number of uses. Okay, huge number of positive points that will enhance, that will permit me to kill an animal and consume it. There are huge list of advantages.
Advantages to killing humans also. There are plenty of advantages.
No. Because
we
are coming back to the original argument where the mankind has felt that there is practically no advantage of killing each other. That is why there
is so
there
much
has been
advantage,
laws across the world.
But just because again, by every time you say there are laws, you are doing an
Theory of
appeal.
majority.
That's also a logical fallacy. You're committing to you keep saying appeal to legality fallacy and appeal to popularity fallacy. Just because something is legal, if you say because something is legal, it's right, you're engaging in an error right now. Because that logic should compute in
the
every
whole
scenario.
mankind has been formed based on popularity and legality.
Doesn't mean it's right though. I agree it's been formed that way. I'm agreeing. That does not mean that the conclusion drawn from it is necessarily right.
So that again is a relative argument. You say it is not necessarily right, but can you list down at least about a dozen points to say that the entire legal system is wrong, the laws under which
That's
the
not
mankind
what I'm saying. I'm not saying the entirety is wrong. I'm saying that just because you are making the statement, it is legal, therefore it's right. I am just saying that's wrong.
See, even otherwise, what do you get out of... See, even killing of human is also permitted on certain grounds. So euthanization is permitted today if a person is suffering extreme pain and he is not able to live beyond that. So to prevent him from, to help him from that pain, to help him escape that pain, euthanization is allowed today, and on certain conditions. And then, like we discussed, a person who has committed an extreme crime, he is allowed to be hanged, he is allowed to be executed by the system of lawmakers itself.
Right. But what I am talking about is, again,
So you kill a human being, you're allowed to kill
I
a human
get those
being.
examples, but I'm just saying that every time you say something is popular, the majority agrees, or something is legal, you are committing a logical fallacy.
I'm telling you, it's good. It is allowed to. You're permitted to kill a human being as well if it will make good to your mankind, like you're killing an animal for.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm not asking whether the particular point you're making there is right or wrong. It's not my argument. My argument is that every time you make the statement that something is legal and therefore it's okay, or this has come because it's popular, therefore it's okay, you are just flat. It's like saying 1 + 1 = 3. You're just wrong there. Those are logical fallacies. You know what a logical fallacy is, right?
I know what a logical fallacy is.
And if someone commits a logical fallacy, it's just wrong. Like if I make a statement like, oh look, it's legal, therefore it's okay. No, Arvind, that's an appeal to legality fallacy. You're wrong. Like that just absolutely, we just wrong there. But my point is this: coming back to this whole comparison between humans and animals, you did say again that at the end of the day, so it's not just intelligence, it's about being human and being intelligent. Because human is the criteria then. It's not about being intelligent. Because if we use only intelligence as a criteria to decide whether this sentient being has the right to life or not, your argument fails. If you say it's human and intelligence, your argument goes one step further right now. Is that the position you're taking? You get my point?
I completely get your point. See, okay, let's leave the logical fallacies aside. Let me tell you one thing. There is a natural scientific flow. There's a natural chain of how animals are supposed to live and humans are supposed to live. Basically, how living beings are supposed to live in this world. Now, animals also eat animals. It's not that animals have any... a lion perhaps doesn't eat a lion, but lion eats a deer. Right? That's the preference that lion has. That's how the lion biologically is formed.
Right.
So that is basically a biology. You see, that is there in the animal kingdom also. See, and even the lion knows that the deer has a pain. But
that is an appeal to nature fallacy again. Like, see, the thing is that when you say... Okay, think of it this way, Vishwa. You're saying, look, a lion eats a deer. Just in the same vein, a human also eats an animal to survive. If that's an argument, that is like me saying, look, Vishwa, when two lions meet, they fight and kill each other to see who's the alpha. Since lions do that, when I walk on the road today, if I see someone taller than me, I'm going to fight him till the death. And then, will that be a logical argument?
No, we cannot.
Why would it not be a logical argument?
Because we have evolved from there. We have been doing it, we have evolved from there.
That's not the right answer. The answer is because you cannot base your actions based on what a lion does. Based on what lions do doesn't make what humans do right or wrong. That's the point. We cannot compare ourselves to wild animals and say, since this animal is doing this, I will do this.
See,
that is the logical fallacy here.
Again, I'm telling you, there are plenty of factors which drive us. See, the entire world may not be made of Arvinds, but there are a hell of a lot of Arvinds out there who are sitting there, who know killing of animals is wrong, but still, it is there. It is still persistent. It is still prevalent in the system because people know that this is the only way by which, as of now, I can have my nutrition to my health, to my body. As of, like you said, I can go only this far with my own ideologies because I've not found anything beyond that.
Fair enough, yeah.
Likewise, even the mankind has come this far tomorrow probably, let's say for instance, that's a wonderful point that I wanted to discuss again. Tomorrow probably, if lab grown meats are prevalent, the culture of regenerating the animal tissues in the lab, if that becomes more prevalent, that becomes a order of the day. What will happen is this killing will reduce. It's not that I want to kill something. I'm not eating because I want to kill something. I'm killing something because I want to eat. It's the other way around. You understand?
I understand.
So tomorrow,
I don't agree, but I understand. Yes.
Tomorrow, if the mankind realizes there is another way out where I can get the same amount of nutrition without all these bottle difficulties from the same animal.
What? Okay, you keep saying that, Vishwa. What is the difficulty with the bottles?
Feasibility. It's practicality, feasibility. As of now, it's definitely impossible.
I want you to think of this. We have right now created a system in which we have bunches of buffaloes and cows. We routinely every year make them pregnant. We take their child from them. We milk them. We take that milk, put it in a lorry, send it to an industry to get pasteurized. Then that pasteurized milk is then taken and put onto packets. And then that packet is now put onto the small carts, which are then taken at 5 a.m. to the morning and thrown onto the porch of everyone's house.
Right.
Now, let's say that this system did not exist right now.
Yeah.
And I am coming up with a business plan. You happen to be the investor. I'm like, Vishwa, I want you to invest in me in crores of rupees. You're like, okay, tell me, Arvind, what's your idea? You see, sir, we're going to take a bunch. I tell you the whole thing. You'll think, this guy is nuts. How on earth is this even feasible? What's happening right now and what is feasible is not because it is feasible. We humans have made it feasible. Even a very, very difficult animal agriculture is not easy. It's an intense, difficult process. We are producing thousands and crores of eggs. How difficult the process.
If an alternative is not as complicated as this, I would definitely agree.
Why do you have to explain why do you even find this complex?
Simple. Let's say, like I said,
you have to just go whoop, done.
That is the last stage you're talking about. I'm talking about right from the beginning, to creating a network for this, creating a market for this. It's not easy to reach it to the ruralist place of this country. It's not easy.
But why are you worried about that? That's what I'm saying to you. In this capitalistic society, when the privileged class does no longer, think of it this way, you would not say that the underprivileged people living in some lower tier city or whatever cannot afford an iPhone. Therefore, I, Vishwa, will not buy an iPhone. These underprivileged people cannot study in this college. Therefore, my child should not study in that college. This is not an attitude you'll ever take for any other subject.
Okay,
Why do you take it for this?
I'll give you an analogy. I have been, for the last 3 days, I've been under medication for a throat infection. I'm suffering a cold. You can see the difference in my voice. No, I have been under medication. Now, this doctor, whoever I have consulted, he has asked me to take some azithromycin in the morning, afternoon some other medicine, and then a combination of this and that in the evening, but not the one that I took in the morning for the evening. So this makes my life very, very difficult because I have to every time keep looking at the prescription and keep planning because I don't know whether to take this medicine or this medicine or this medicine in the morning. Whereas till 3 days back, I didn't have all these confusions. I was eating nicely. I was not taking any medicines in the first place.
Go on.
Okay, so I was not consuming any medicines. I was not thinking all the time what to take in the morning. What did the doctor say? This or this. After opening the bottle, I have to see the prescription. Get me the prescription. Okay, then not this, only this. Thank God I didn't make a mistake. All these complications I've been going through for the last 3 days, only because I've not been well.
Yeah.
I'm sick. Probably come tomorrow or day after, I'll stop all these medicine, get back to my original routine. So imagine the complication. All the time I have to keep on planning what I have to eat the next day or the next square meal.
You are an actor. You are a multi-talented person. I'm very sure you drive a car, you drive a bike, you probably do God knows what other difficult things that require talent and stuff. But you can't take 3 pills. Look at this. This is a box but literally written Sunday to Monday we have here. Okay. I can't spend just 5 minutes in a week filling these with the right medications I need, the right supplements I need to, and then pop open Monday and just boom, take it. Is this really a big deal?
I'm getting all these vitamins and minerals right now without having to go through any of such complications.
Why? I refuse to even acknowledge putting pills inside a box that are labeled Monday to Sunday and then taking one when I need to in the evening as a complication. Vishwa, I'm sorry, but I just cannot agree with you on that there.
I buy a plate of meal in a restaurant, a non-vegetarian meal in a restaurant. It has got some 6-7 things. I just buy it, eat it. I'm not going through any of these complications.
But you probably have a car or a bike. Don't you put petrol? Do you ever think like, but what? I have to go to the petrol bunk and open the thing and pay him money and he'll put petrol? That's too come. What is this? Come on, Vishwa. This excuse is not a fair one. What you're saying right now is that this is complicated is something I just cannot digest. Okay, this is not.
That is why I told you. As of now, this is a very, very. I tell you, I'm not for killing something. I'm for my health and taste.
Okay, you know what? Let's come to your health right now. We've spoken quite a bit. If we needed to, we'll go back to the ethics part if we need to again back to that. But you wanted to bring up some points because you are still of the opinion, strong opinion, I must say, that we do need to consume animal products to be healthy. You still hold the strong opinion?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely. As of now, yes. Like I said, tomorrow, if something like a lab-grown meat comes across where only the animal tissue is used, the animal is not killed, a small part of the animal, small tissue of the animal is used to regenerate, let us say, one burger patty into 80,000 burger patties. This much of a tissue can generate close to 50 to 60,000 burger patties. If that, and it can feed a lot of people also. That way, even the mankind would be more happy to use it because today, one burger patty, if I have to make one burger patty, this much of meat is required.
Right.
Whereas tomorrow, if I take a small tissue, go to the regenerative system in a lab and generate so many thousands of burger patties, which can feed thousands and thousands of people, ethically, morally, and with respect to my taste and health, I would definitely accept it. That day I would stop killing these animals.
Yeah, but that's
my perspective is only health.
Yeah, but that's not veganism. But okay, if I send your perspective is health, what we'll do is you are still of the opinion, and even though I'm telling you,
if you can make this less complicated, I would definitely agree with you.
Again, I'm telling you, to even call this as complicated is just something I just cannot accept that argument.
And second thing is, why on earth should I compromise on my taste? This is not going to give me my taste buds. This is not going to satisfy my taste buds.
But you just said right now, doing it only for taste is sick and disgusting. You told a first degree.
Sick? No. Taste and that's why I very clearly told you it is a wonderful combination of health and taste.
That's not what you said just a few seconds ago. A few seconds ago, you said, why should I compromise on my taste? You said that right now.
Exactly, because both are factors.
No. But okay, we have to right now be very clear. When you did say that right now, if a dog is sleeping out of just no reason, for a sick pleasure of killing it, if I'm killing it, that would be something immoral, you said. Right. So, in that regard, taste is a pleasure we get. Right. It's a pleasure. If you were to kill only for taste, that would be wrong. Taste plus nutrition is not wrong because nutrition is either way 100% mandatory for your body. So far, am I right?
In your in your vegan journey, would you consume something which is absolutely giving displeasure to your taste buds just because you have to be vegan?
If that is the choice between being vegan and exploiting an animal, then yes. If that's the only.
So what you're going through is a medication, not food. Then in the food is something. You know what is food?
But why
food
is that example even true, though, Vishwa? Like you gave the hypothetical scenario. I told in that hypothetical scenario, if that happens to be the only option, then I
also told you very clearly my two factors that you asked me that makes me have a food is taste and health.
No.
Taste B, health B. They call it.
You are misunderstanding this. That is clear for me. Two things matter to you, and you are of still a strong opinion that we have to consume animal products to be healthy. That is first of all clear. We both agree on that.
Yeah.
Right, Vishwa has that opinion. Vishwa also has the opinion that hey, if you're doing it only for pleasure, that would be wrong. There's nothing wrong in having a necessity and still enjoying necessity. I'm not judging that. If you're saying that, listen, man, I have to eat this, bro, but that's not. Let's not even call it dirty work if you want to. But I'm enjoying it. Like, don't tell me just because I need it, I shouldn't enjoy it. Okay, is that a fair way to put it? Yeah. I can't judge you because you're doing it either way. You have to. So what's wrong in enjoying what you have to? There's nothing wrong in that, right?
Yeah, if I can enjoy it, definitely.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing against that either. But right now, you just told me, if you don't remember this, Arvind, why should I give up my taste? That does not go in line with either of these 2 points.
It goes very well in line with what I want to have my food, 3 square meals per day for. If I have to have food, if I have to sit in a place and have food, I have to satisfy my health. I have to satisfy my taste buds as well.
Why do you have to say? When you said right now this is complicated, first of all, I'm saying I don't agree with the reasoning. Personally, I don't agree with that because I don't think it's complicated at all. Just take a few supplements. But you also looked at it and said, this also won't give me my taste.
Yeah, it will not. Because both have to be a part of my intake.
When did taste become a necessity for you? Because doing it now, are you saying that you have to, let's say, for example, you got only meat right now. I also throw you an opposite hypothetical then. Let's say you could only obtain meat and this meat happens to taste very bad. You don't like it, whatever it is. But that will give you all your proper nutrition. That's the only option of meat you have. Would you then choose to take that meat or would you take this?
I would, if that be the case, I would take this because I would not eat something just because it gives me my health. If I don't like the taste, I will not. I have other options. If I don't like the taste,
You don't like the taste. Okay.
not for any other reason. Not because somebody is going to feel, some animal is going to feel the pain of it. Because I don't like the taste. I have given up on a few non-vegetarian foods only because I don't like the taste.
Okay, fine. I guess we can proceed right now with your because I'm of the strong opinion, along with the scientific data I bring along with me, saying that a plant-based diet, a well-planned plant-based diet, which includes supplementation from vitamin D and B12, can give you just as much positive health benefits as an omnivorous diet can.
Okay, see, and for which I put up an argument saying that could be.
About iron, you made an argument first, right?
Not just iron, and also that all this could be more of an elitist and an expensive
But we already been through that. It's not. It's just costing you 15 rupees per day, Vishwa.
It's not just money. Expensive probably might relate to money. But why I said elitist is it's about the concept of doing this. For this to reach the masses and to get an acceptance.
But again, why are we talking about the masses when I already told you that if let's assume 90% cannot go, why are the privileged
If
classes?
90% cannot go, the whole business viability of it goes for a flop. Nobody's going to do this.
Yet it still exists. It's right there in front of you.
It's right there in front of me. Today it is so expensive because only 5% are consuming.
So yeah, which is why when the privileged people do not use the underprivileged as an excuse and move over to this, it'll get cheaper because
and there are millions out there like me who would not want to compromise on their taste buds as well.
That's an honest statement at least. I don't agree with you, but that you're being honest.
I'm being honest. I'm being brutally honest.
But then that also contradicts what you said. Like if I do it only for taste, that is wrong. You also made that. You made both the statements.
Yeah. So I need to have taste as well as health on my platter.
So why does that pleasure matter so much when someone else is feeling pain for your pleasure? Like.
Sorry.
You know what? Let's keep the ethical arguments again later. We've been over that.
Yeah,
let's go over the health issues. Yeah.
Okay. So
Just give me 1 second.
The tablet bottles, can we keep it away?
Yeah, we can, I guess. At this point, yeah. All good? Yeah. Yes, Vishwa.
Okay, so as I said, in order to let's say that veganism takes the center stage and people start following veganism in the future, what is your replacement for milk? What is the suggestion? What is your milk replacement?
So I don't usually go for a milk replacement. I would rather like to look at which nutrients are found richly in milk, and then try to find other sources for that nutrient. If you are talking about calcium, I believe you are. I presume you are mentioning calcium.
Yeah, milk. Whatever nutrition you're getting out of milk,
All right,
calcium is
sure.
predominant. Yeah.
Fair enough. Let me show you. And you guys can see this on screen. Sorry. Here you go. These things are not expensive.
So you will be totally avoiding milks.
Absolutely. I have not drank cow's milk for 11 years, Vishwa.
No, but there are a lot of vegan. You yourself spoke in one of your videos about almond milk and soy milk.
Yeah, I don't consume them. Exactly.
But you cited them as options.
You mean in the list I gave? Yeah, it's an option.
It's an option. A lot of vegans have spoken about almond milk and soy milk. Again, almond milk and soy milk is not something that is predominantly available. That has not been in prevalence as far as the market is concerned. And
what does that have to do with veganism?
No, because a lot of vegans are suggesting almond milk and soy milk in place, or probably coconut milk in place of cow milk.
Right.
To replace cow milk.
I understand. But again, what does that have to do with the philosophy of veganism is my question.
It's not about the philosophy of veganism. It is about the practicality of getting...
But see, that's the thing. You're painting a picture that vegans have to consume almond milk and other kind of soy-based milk. That's not what I'm consuming. That's not what we have to do. Because see, soy milk and almond milk are an option. What does option mean? You don't have to. That's why it's called as an option. Right? The word option means you don't have to.
So you're not suggesting almond and soy as an alternative to milk?
No, at the moment definitely not, because it's not viable. It's not.
I've seen in one of your videos where you were telling a student that if you so much want to have milk, you have an option of soy and almond.
Yeah, what I meant in that video was that student was saying to me, I want to become a vegan, but I just can't give up my taste buds. What help me? What do I do? In that regard, if you are so much you can't give up the taste, then go for an alternative. If you can give up the taste, just eat the other cheaper versions, because those things are more expensive, Vishwa. Those alternatives, those soy milk, they are Very expensive. I don't buy them at all. They're very, very
Extremely
expensive.
expensive. And in most cases, you have to import a lot of raw
So
materials.
they
to grow
do
them.
make a lot of them right now in India itself. The demand has increased, to be honest. They have done that. But again, are you satisfied with this, Vishwa? For example, I just want to go through this list if we can, please. So black sesame seeds, I don't know if you're aware, black sesame seeds have a crazy amount of calcium in them. You can Google this and check. Insane amounts of calcium. So all I'm suggesting is that, say we take 100 grams of black sesame seeds. We put them inside a grinder. We also add a few dates and grind them up. We get this nice powder. You make these bunch of laddus, eat 2 a day, and see the amount of calcium you get from that. How many milligrams?
Could you just repeat the process? Black sesame seeds?
In a mixing grinder bowl, few dates, grind together everything, 10 laddus. That's it.
You know what? For calciums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I just take the milk, boil, drink it.
Yeah. But what's happening is you're now taking part in a system that exploits animals to the extreme.
And what is the kind of pain a cow goes through when you milk a cow?
Oh, this action.
Yeah.
That action is not the only action we condone. We condemn. Give me a second, please. I would like to show you something. Now, this is something. Yeah. I may not, if I can just for a second, Vishwa.
Yeah,
I
please.
may not put up this picture on screen because YouTube, I don't know whether they'll flag it or not. I just want you to have a look at this and you can just describe what you see. It's not, the problem we have is not when the human being places his fingers on the udder of the cow. Can you describe with the words, if it's possible, like what you see there?
Yeah. In the name of animal breeding, a lot of torturous processes are being carried out, is what you've mentioned here.
Well, what I'm trying to show is that we are forcefully making female animals pregnant against their will. We are literally shoving
Yeah, I didn't want to explicitly say that. Yeah.
We are literally shoving rods into their private, because that's what we're doing. See, if you are consuming dairy or any animal products, you are taking part in animal breeding, you are funding this. You have the choice not to. You have the choice. Just want to make that very clear to you. You are doing this, right now you can choose not to do it. And my point is, it's not just the milking part, Vishwa. If I can just talk about the dairy industry for just like 2 minutes, if I can allow me. The point is this. In order for cows, actually, did you know this? Cows don't produce milk. Did you know that? Cows and buffaloes don't make milk. Mothers make milk. Any mammal, female mammal, only after becoming a mother does she lactate.
Right.
Right. So that means every cow and buffalo has to be made pregnant in order for them to lactate. So
Absolutely.
we have to forcefully make them pregnant. And if the calf is there around, what does he or she do? She will also begin drinking all the milk. So what do? We take the calf all the way. First, we separate the males and females because females can be used for breeding the following year because they're also female. The males are taken and they are sold off to be killed for turn into a leather shoes or whatever. Then what happens is these females scream and cry just like any other human mother would when they have their baby literally ripped away from them. They go through the exact same emotions as they are sentient like us. And they feel the exact same pain that we humans would. And then we milk them and the cycle keeps continuing. Once she reaches an age where she can no longer produce enough milk, she is then sent to a slaughterhouse to states where cow slaughter is legal and she is killed. It's for this that we oppose dairy. It's not just the milking part that's cruel. It's the entire system of animal
And
exploitation.
the entire cycle you're talking about.
Yeah, basically that's why I use the word animal exploitation. I don't want to say animal killing or even animal cruelty because that's a very generic statement. What is animal killing? What is animal exploitation? We are exploiting them. And that's why I oppose the dairy industry. Just to answer that question, yeah.
See, I have come to believe that taking a calf away from the cow, I'm not looking at an emotional, on an emotional scale, looking at it as immoral or it's a sin or anything. I'm looking at it as a cycle. I'm looking at it as a scientific cycle. Yeah, even we humans, after a point in time, we move away from our parents. I'm sure your parents would be living elsewhere. You would be living elsewhere. And the same for all of us.
But I was not dragged away by one hand while my mother was screaming.
See, you were dragged away at a point in time when you had to start going to school. You were literally dragged away because for the better of mankind, better of so many
things. Are you by any chance insinuating that the life that we go through is the same as what these farm animals go through?
See, it is all there for a purpose, and that is the system. That is the purpose. See, the cow may feel a little bit, sad when the calf is taken away, but that is the cycle. That is the system.
Wait, hold up. Let's draw like some 3 different scenarios here. One is what's happening in the dairy industry right now. Number one.
You're citing emotional reasons for.
I am citing the emotional thing that's happening to the animal, and I can empathize with the animal because I know how I would feel if someone did that to some member of my family or to me. And I understand that the cow can suffer just like me, just like how I know Vishwa can suffer. Why on earth in my mind I think I am superior to Vishwa? But both feeling the same pain and
Precisely,
suffering.
the suffering of the cow cannot be compared to human suffering because the brains of the cow, the brain of the cow or brain of any animal is not equal to a human brain. So the suffering would be probably for a small period of time, or it could be probably instant.
This is where I'm locking into a point. So if I showed you a human being who is of less emotional intelligence, less mental intelligence, and I treat them the way we treat animals, would that fly by for you?
It is not about you treating. See, for instance,
But you just said right now, because the cow is less emotional, so I'm now taking an example of a less emotional human being. That would not fly by for you.
say
Right.
I'm a less emotional human being. So suppose
But you're able-minded. I mean like someone who's...
you can call me less emotional on a very practical note.
No. What I'm meaning is that you are an able-minded human.
Able-minded. So you're putting it on a very positive note. Okay.
No, that's who you are. See, we can't use certain words anymore in this. I think you know which word I'm talking about, because we should not describe people who have disabilities like as if they are in a demeaning manner.
Okay.
But there are people who are mentally handicapped is one way to say it, right?
No, let us not even talk about them. Let us talk about normal human beings who are less emotional and more emotional.
Okay. What's the point you're trying to make?
So if I am less emotional, if I'm a little less emotional, more practical, and if I have to lose some close relative or friend of mine, somebody who I love, if I have to lose them, I take it on a very of course I will have the pain. It's not that I'm not going to feel the pain, but I will know that there is a karma, there is a system which is which has the purpose of taking this away from me. That is the kind of mentality the animals also have, because over a point in time, the cows are not going to sit and cry like we do. The cows are not going to have a photograph of the person sit and look at them and cry. Even humans don't do it anymore. I'm telling you, the brain of the animals are very practically designed to suit all these practices.
Then why is it that when people many times go and try to separate the baby from the mother literally tries to crush them to death?
That is a self-defense system that is also being given in.
So if hypothetically someone were to go to a human hospital and they were to grab a child from a mother,
again you are trying to compare the human race with the animal race.
Because you are not still giving me the reason why you do not accept this comparison. You keep you make a statement, and then when I expound upon it, you are like kind of going elsewhere. I'll again ask you. When I asked you about this first, you said that because we are more intelligent. I gave the example of a human being who's less intelligent. You told, no, Arvind, that is not a fair example, because that less intelligent human being is still human, is what you said. Am I right to quote you on that? Yeah.
Right.
That means your initial point was flawed.
Okay.
You should not say it's based on intelligence. Say it's based on being human. Because if intelligence is not the differentiating factor here...
I'm talking about the physical and the composition, the physical system, the way we are composed, the way we are made. Right. See, would you equate yourself? You are a living being, so is a fish. But you cannot equate yourself to... You cannot live inside what a fish can. You can live on land, the fish cannot.
Yeah, but I'm not equating, living on land to living on water. I'm equating baby stealing to baby stealing. I'm equating forced impregnation to forced impregnation. If that forced impregnation is done to a woman, we call it as rape in our society. If done to animals, we call it as breeding.
Okay, let me put this
You
example.
call it as slaughter, I call it as murder. I'm equating, these are fair equations,
Okay,
right?
I take a fish out of a pond and it's on the verge of dying. It's kind of you can see that it's feeling the pain.
Yeah.
What you do in a good this thing, you take the fish and put it back into the pond. Right. Now I am struggling. I don't know swimming. I'm struggling inside a pond. Would you want to push me back inside, or would you want to take me out?
I would drag you out because you have lungs.
Correct. Correct. So, although fish and I are two different living things, both of us are living things, we are two different living beings.
Exactly, but both can suffer. So that means you do. That means what I do. When it comes to the fish, I make sure they don't suffocate on land. When it comes to Vishwa, I make sure he doesn't suffocate in water. I show empathy towards both.
No, precisely. Each one is designed in such a way to suit the.
How does that justify? I agree that different. How does that justify the unnecessary amount of violence that we are throwing onto them?
See, I would only say that we can be less violent. See, slaughter, even when it comes to slaughtering, I have seen slaughterhouses where the animals are killed barbarically. That is something that even I object to.
Why do you object that, Vishwa?
Because I feel the animal, because as I told you a while ago, my objective is not killing. My objective is consuming the meat for my health and taste.
But you just said right now, when they're killed, quote unquote, barbarically, it bothers you. First of all, can you define what barbaric is into like detail, like what do they do to the animal, and why you feel that's wrong?
I feel my objective, I'm very clear about my objective, that I need to fulfill the requirement of taste and health when I consume my food. So if my objective is only to have good taste and good health by consuming the meat, I feel that if that can be achieved in a less painful way for the animal, because I'm also
But
not.
you have not answered my question.
I'm telling you, I'm coming to that. See, I may not be a vegan like you, but I'm not as barbaric as you think. The mankind is to the animals. I'm not that. I'm not a cruel person. All right. So I don't. If what I need to achieve in terms of consuming meat can be achieved, I will not compromise on the meat. If it can be achieved in a less painful way for the animal, or zero pain by inflicting zero pain on the animal, I'm game. I'm totally I'm game for it. Why would I not? That is why I said kill.
But you're not. The question was this though: what is the exact things that you have seen in slaughterhouses that you personally feel to be barbaric? Number one, and two. Why do you consider them to be barbaric? Number two is my question.
No, because they let the animal scream in pain.
What's wrong in that?
No, see, again, it is yet another human being. I see.
Wait, another human.
Yet another living being. It's yet another living being.
You're sounding like a vegan all of a sudden, Vishwa.
Exactly. I'm telling you, my objective. I'm also as kind-hearted as you are when it comes to killing an animal. But if an animal can be killed with lesser pain, that is why I brought the subject of the lab meat. If tomorrow lab meat gets a prominence, again, lab meat is as complicated as what we showed in the bottles.
It's not like I want to cut you short or something, but I feel like the question is not being answered. I want you to tell me what is the right way to kill an animal then.
There is something called the halal way of killing an animal, where it is called. There's a mercy slaughtering. There's a term to it. There's a term which they've coined as mercy slaughtering. In mercy slaughtering, you just make the animal lie down. You just say something to it. I don't want to be explicit.
Fair enough. You don't need to go to
You
religion.
say something to it because that might sound a bit religious. The animal quietly lies down, and you just put a small incision in the right kind of place. I think it's called the jugular vein or something.
Jugular, yeah.
And so that the animal doesn't feel the pain, it just dies out of loss of blood.
Are you insinuating that someone taking a sharp object to the jugular vein of an animal does not cause pain?
It causes much lesser pain than the way it is slaughtered in most of the other places.
First of all, it does cause pain. Your initial statement of saying it doesn't cause pain is wrong. It does cause pain.
Yes, even putting an injection in your body causes pain.
Number one, it does cause pain. Okay. Number two, how do you on what do you base this on? Based on faith? Based on facts? Like how do you come to this conclusion about halal slaughter? You said it is less amount of pain.
Yeah, it's less amount of pain, scientifically proven.
So on what side? Could you walk me through it?
See, there has been an internationally it has been acclaimed as the right way of killing. That is why even the
right is different from the claim you made, which is less pain. How do we know it is less pain? Is my question.
That's been scientifically proved. So you and I may not feel the pain of it, but
okay, when
you feel the pain, see that relates to the kind of signals sent to the brain, and that has been lab tested scientifically to prove that there is a certain amount of signal that is sent to your brain when you feel the pain. There is a certain quantity and quality of signals that is sent to your brain. So when you test that, you will know what exactly the pain a human being or a living any living organism feels when something like that is inflicted upon. So considering all that, the world over, the laboratories have tested and acclaimed that killing, mercy slaughtering is more of a viable option than slaughtering it in a more barbaric fashion. I wouldn't want to explain that again. All of us know how painfully the animals are slaughtered. I'm not talking like a vegan. I'm saying on a more ethical note, you can still have the same meat and same health and taste for yourself.
So, in this particular scenario you're describing, would you agree if I paint a picture saying that we humans are the killers and the animals are the ones that are being killed? Would you agree with that?
Oh, that's a very dramatic way of putting it.
It's dramatic. So, if we are not killing them, what are we tickling them? What are we doing to them?
We are consuming them. Why do you want to?
In order to why do you try to distance yourself from that though?
Then I say a mosquito is biting you, you hit it, you're killing a mosquito or you're hitting a mosquito?
I am killing the mosquito.
You're killing the mosquito.
Yeah,
so are you against that?
No, I already told you in terms of self-defense, I'll defend myself. I would even punch a human if they try to attack me or my wife, but I would not go out of my way to attack somebody.
What if I tell you tomorrow, what happens when a mosquito bites you? You might get malaria, you might get dengue. Okay, I'll give you supplements, enough supplements to improve your immunity and platelet counts so that you don't get dengue or malaria. Would you let a mosquito bite you subsequently?
It really depends if you could prove that to be true, and if it's proven that
I will have I'll give you clinical papers to prove that the supplement that I'm giving you will provide you with enough immunity to save you from dengue.
and
Save you
that mosquito biting doesn't necessarily cause any kind of damage to me at all. Like nothing. I'm totally fine.
Yeah, you will have a small pain on that. See, it calls for a similar analogy which is going across India right now.
The dog
as
issue.
far as the dog issue is concerned, they say that you kind of neutralize the dog, or what do you say? You
Neuter the dog. Yeah.
neuter the dog, or you give the dog an injection which will not. But after which, if the dog bites you, you don't get rabies. Right. See, whether I get rabies or not, I still feel the pain of the dog bite.
That's why I asked you, do I still feel the pain?
Yeah, you still feel the pain of a mosquito bite.
All right.
But for your health's sake, I'm giving you certain
No,
supplements.
I don't want to feel pain. If I feel pain, then I'm hitting it. If you can prove to me I won't
there
feel
is
pain.
there is something wrong that happens to your body
Yeah.
for not by the mosquito bite, you're willing to kill it.
Yes.
If there is something wrong that happens to my body by
Right.
not consuming this meat, I'm
Right.
willing to kill it. If you want to call it killing.
So okay, let's just complete this argument of killing right now first. So if we humans are the killers and they are the ones who are being killed, we are deciding whether the method to kill them, whether we should kill them or not, how to kill them is being decided by the killers.
Yeah.
By the oppressor.
Yeah.
So that is a totally flawed logical system, because in any scenario, an oppressor will always think what he does to the oppressed is right. That doesn't mean our actions that we do are not benefiting the oppressed by any means. It's benefiting only us. We are right now making ourselves feel better by saying that since we are doing it in what we perceive to be a less painful method, therefore it's all right. Someone else can also come and make a statement like, hey, you know what? I'm a terrorist, but the world's most friendly terrorist in the world. You know what I do? I give chloroform to everybody, and then bang, bang, bang. It's done.
Again, human to human, human to animal.
Exactly.
I'm talking about a nature system. If terrorism was not against law,
But Vishwa, human killing human is very much natural. Human killing human is so
but it is
natural.
illegal. It is against the law.
Appeal to legality fallacy. You are
If human to human killing was not made illegal, I would be killing every second human being who's causing inflicting pain on me or causing wrong to me, doing some wrong to me, right? Likewise, somebody else would have killed all of us. So that won't even come as an example here, because that has already been condemned, banned, and abolished.
just because something has been condemned doesn't, but that means though, even the killings, why was it? Because the killings that were happening before it was even abolished were still considered wrong, right?
Yeah.
So let's not right now say that because something is legal right now, something is right. Anyways, but my point is this. Your argument regarding halal and how we treat animals is once again the oppressor deciding what benefits himself or herself and what
It
to
is
do.
optimizing, Arvind. It is a way of
oppressed.
optimizing. See, I want the meat, I want the health, I want the taste, and I'm also showing concern to the animal that it should die an unpainful, it should not die a painful death. So I'm trying to optimize the whole thing.
Yeah, but
here.
that doesn't make your actions noble, because just because there's another, again, you will say it's again human to human example, human animal comparison, but that's because we still haven't completely even fulfilled that. You know what? We'll do one thing. Is we have been going on for almost 2 hours right now, I believe, right? A little over 2 hours. What we'll do is that we went off track because you started about nutrition and calcium. I gave you an example for calcium. What's the other nutrients you want to speak about? Let's complete that first, because else I notice we'll keep going in circles.
Yeah.
And before we close, I do want to touch upon that subject again of human-animal comparison, because let's end on that. I guess that'll be a good
I think we should
Fair
get a
enough,
closure for that. Should I repeat this omega 3?
We have been over it. We have supplements. Vegans have supplements for that.
So we can talk about that.
Not necessarily.
Not
We've already been over
We've
it.
already
Yeah.
spoken about it. But you got supplements for this thing, DHA and EPA,
Yes, sir. We do.
and with the same kind of same percentage of consumption.
Yes, sir. You know why? Because fish get their EPA and DHA from consuming a plant called algae. We have algae-based omega-3 oil that we consume. That's
Okay,
why.
because the conversion is very inefficient in the
That's
body.
if you
That's why.
consume ALA, which comes from flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm
Okay.
talking about algae-based omega-3 supplements. It's a plant found in the water, for those who want
And
to.
another thing we have to understand is that even if there is an ALA conversion that has to happen, that again differs from gender to gender. For a female, it happens better, more efficiently than a male.
And based on different races, I know that. But
Yeah.
my point is again, we have the omega-3 supplement right now. It exists on the market. So no need to worry about that.
With DPA and...
Yes. Would you like me to have a look at it again? You want-
Yeah,
you want-
no, I just had a
Yeah.
look. No problem. And also that the supplements, like let's say from you get omega-3 from flax and chia in terms of plant-based. Even if you're okay with the ALA thing, for the conversion to happen, you need to get a huge amount of flax seeds and chia seeds.
Yeah, but why do we have to mention that when we already have supplements? We have the EPA.
Again, this supplement thing, how, we are circling again around the same thing again.
You are saying, Arvind, how do you get this nutrient? I'm like, Vishwa, boom, here's the option. You're like, why this option? You wanted an option. I gave you the option. If I don't have the option, call me out. When I give you the option...
Feasibility of option is very difficult, Arvind. It is not easy.
For whom, again? Again, we're talking about the privileged class who can change, Vishwa. That's not a feasible... It's not a feasibility issue for them.
All right. I'll come to the next topic. Protein.
Yes, sir.
See, animal proteins are complete. They have all the amino acids. They have everything. Whereas the plant proteins are still yet to... I haven't seen plant proteins as complete as animal proteins. Correct. So, the argument is that if a diet requires so much supplements to be sustainable, how natural is it? Because so many supplements you're giving me.
Yeah, but I already made the statement that veganism isn't natural. That is my outright first opening of this. In the first 10 minutes of this discussion, I've said that. Yeah, it's not.
There again, I told you I'll come to this later.
Okay.
If a system is against nature, I don't think it is good for the mankind. It is good against nature.
The only reason our species is alive today is because we're against nature. We don't have fur, we don't have claws, we don't have massive strength like other animals. It's only because of our brain we have destroyed the forest around us and built an environment in which we can sustain ourselves. The existence of the human race literally goes against nature.
Even the destruction of forests, if it gets beyond a limit, it is bad for you.
It's not about good or bad. The argument you made was that if we go against nature, it's bad. I am saying the very existence of humanity goes against nature. So you bringing this argument would not be a logical one. You get my point? Our very existence, the water we consume, you don't drink dirty water, you drink water that's been RO treated, obviously. Why would you say this is natural water even though it's impure? No. You use your modern day technology to get the better version of what you can. Let's not bring in this whole natural argument to human beings because it just doesn't work. We wear clothing. We were all born naked. But look at us. We wear clothes.
See, you need to have a clear demarcation of where you can go against and to to what extent you can go against the nature, where you cannot. Again, like I said, you can't walk on your hands. That's just because you want to go against nature.
But you are right now comparing walking on hands to taking supplements?
Yeah, you're going against nature.
So, even a cesarean child being born is going against nature. Even giving a vaccination is going against nature. Even
that is precisely why cesarean has to be done only when it is 200% required.
That was my point. Does it go nature means what? According to Darwinian's law, what do we do? Survival of the fittest. That is nature. Can we agree upon that?
Yeah.
Do we live in society by that law? No, we live based on equality, fraternity, and all this.
So you agree with survival of the fittest?
No, I am against it. I think that's madness. That's the way the world is. Thank goodness we humans have separated ourselves from that and create our own rules and laws.
We still go by survival of the fittest. We have just made some changes to it as that would suit our own ideologies.
We base many of them on logic and rationality. For example, we go, but here's my point. Listen, I feel we're being sidetracked. Okay.
Yeah,
the point you made was that this is unnatural to take supplements. I agree it's unnatural to take supplements. It's also unnatural to fly in planes, to drive cars, to talk through mobile phone systems. Let's please not talk about natural or unnatural being human beings, please.
No, you are making a blank comparison. You're going to extremities. It's either this or that. I'm trying to optimize what can or to what extent you can go against nature, what can be done against nature, so as to an extent where your health or your life will not be affected. To that extent is what we can go.
So your health or life or well-being will not be, of course, we don't have to read through everything this year, will not be have proper peer-reviewed published data and meta-analysis. If someone says right now that a plant-based diet that's well-planned and optimized will be unhealthier than an omnivorous diet, it's the equivalent of saying the earth is flat. It's just not true, Vishwa. It's just we have enough data. It's like someone saying smoking is healthy. It's like the data we have on our hands is insane.
And I'm not saying veganism is totally wrong. I'm only saying it is impractical.
Because of the supplement part again, you're saying that.
Not just the supplement part.
What other part? The protein part you said?
Everything.
No, let me expand upon protein what you said. Can you talk about that? So about the amino acids, what you mentioned, here's the thing. There are totally 9 essential amino acids we human need and 2 conditionally essential ones. They are namely cysteine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, tyrosine, and valine. All of these 9 essential and 2 conditionally essential amino acids are found in plant foods. Here's the catch though. Some plant foods have a lower presence of the amino acids in one food and a higher presence in others. For example, grains are usually low in one type of amino acid. The pulses and dals we eat are higher in others. A combination of them both will give you a complete protein, number one. However, the problem is that if you look at our traditional Indian foods, what we eat, they're very carbohydrate rich, which means the vegetarian foods, because they don't consume meat, we eat way too many carbohydrates and way too less protein, which is why we have a few other examples. Number one, have you heard of soya chunks?
Yeah, I love them.
Okay, very glad to hear. So I would like to, again, I don't want to make claims without being scientific or being...
This again justifies my statement because I'm not only for killing animals. If soya chunks can give me good taste,
awesome.
I like
then
them.
I would like to introduce you to some mock meats if I can. So by the way, if someone can afford chicken, they can afford soy chunks. If someone can afford paneer, they can afford tofu. Okay, these are 2 foods that are very rich in calcium and very rich in protein. And they are a complete protein from soy.
Okay.
This is a complete amino acid profile. In fact, we have a score here. I don't know if you heard these scores, PD, CAS, and DIAS. Have you heard of these words before? I'll give you in brief.
No.
Okay. Basically, these are not completely 100% accurate, but what's happened is that scientists have found ways to measure. Like, for example, if we make a statement right now, like this car goes faster than that car, we are comparing speed.
Right.
Kilometers per hour. Similarly, when we want to compare protein quality, we need a scale to compare it by. These are 2 scales that scientists came up. These scales are not perfect because they have some flaws in them, but at the moment, this is the best we have. In the top tier, you will see all the animal products. No, I'm not hiding that at all. They are in the top tier because they are the standard by which the others can be compared to. In fact, the top tier one is actually milk, whey protein isolate. That is the top tier most protein we have right now on the market. But if you notice, there are some plant foods that we can consume that can be enough to also, like when you consume a combination of a grain and legume, you are getting a complete protein. Inclusion of soy chunks and tofu, you're getting high quality proteins, low carbohydrate, but still high on the protein side. Have you heard of this word called Seitan, Seitan? Have you even heard of this word? Sounds crazy to you, sounds like Satan, I know. Let me just, I'll be happy to just, I'm glad we're talking about this issue. I'm really, really happy, by the way. Again, before you go on a tangent saying this is not affordable or this is not, not be there for the villages, just hear me out. This is called vital wheat gluten.
Okay.
Have you heard of this word called gluten before? If you don't
I
have
know
a
gluten.
gluten,
I know gluten.
If you don't have a gluten allergy, of course you have one, don't consume this. If you don't have one, what you'll see here is that I think the sticker is covering it. Protein for this per 100 grams is 75 grams of protein for 100 grams of this vital wheat gluten. The problem is that, again, like you said, it's an incomplete sort of protein. I shouldn't say the word incomplete. The amino acid profile is quite poor on this. So if you were to say just take 50 grams, I even have like a recipe as to how to make seitan at home. It's not that complicated. If someone
What do you make out of this rotis and stuff?
No. So what we do is we actually mix it with water and then add some seasonings if you want, and then let it rest the dough. Then when you bring it out, it has this very weird meat-like texture to it because it is just protein inside, right? Then we boil it for half an hour in water. I batch cook this. Then I have this seitan. It's like basically a meat substitute. Cut it up. I make a curry with it. I make sure to add something like rajma or chickpeas in it because this is a grain. It is high in some amino acids, but low in others. When I add the rajma, it complements it. And boom, I get a high quality protein source. I eat this.
I really feel like I'm talking to a person who's living 200 years ahead.
Good. Because imagine this, Vishwa. Because I'm telling you very clear, I'm speaking about ethics and values and morals. If there was ever an advocate who was advocating against casteism, when it was rampant and running wild out there, and someone told him, you know what, I think you came from the future, he would be proud. Similarly, I am proud. Maybe I am from the future, and that's the future I want to create for this world. Because animals don't deserve this.
I'm still imagining an Ayasami from an Arupakottai who would be educated in whatever you just showed me. Even I, with due respects to all my education and my exposure, I'm not able to fathom what this is going to, how this is going to supplement my
We can educate
protein.
ourselves. We can educate ourselves. I understand old habits are hard to break, new ones are hard to form. Okay. But that doesn't mean that we cannot educate ourselves. And that's why people like me exist. We are here to provide the information, letting people know that, listen, ask any doubt. If for any question you asked me today, I had told you, you know what, Vishwa, I just don't know. Or, no, Vishwa, I don't agree. That would be bad of me to say. But no, I have been answering every single one. You may not, you may think my answers are bizarre.
Would you give me a very honest, I'll let it get as bizarre as it can get, but would you give me a very honest reply if I asked you something?
Go ahead.
to implement and imagine a scenario where you would have seen these videos and how your world is going to look to 200 years later, and a hypothetical scenario. So imagine a scenario that in every rural village of this country, the most villages of this country, these kind of products are being cooked, being bought in shops. Every
Awesome.
shops,
Yes.
every
Yes, that's what I want.
kirana shop has this.
Yes.
Imagine a situation like
Beautiful.
this.
Yes.
How long do you think would it take for this country? Let us not discuss compare it to the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is far ahead of India. Most of the world is far ahead of India. So how long would you think something like this to be as prevalent and as natural as it can get? Something. What was the name of it? I forgot.
Vital wheat gluten.
Okay, instead of me telling my son I live in a remote village, I call my son, hey, poi kadala poitu the koli vaayintu vada, something like that. As comparison to vital wheat gluten, go get some vital wheat gluten in the kirana shop nearby. How long do you think it will take for such a thing to happen?
I think that a massive change can happen within my lifetime. I believe that, yes. If I didn't, I wouldn't be working on this so
I'm
hard.
sorry, Arvind, you're being too optimistic. You're being very optimistic.
Doesn't matter. Regardless of that, my point is I can't stop trying.
You're trying for something that is not going to happen in the next 500 years.
Well, that's what. Well, can it happen maybe 500 years later?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you said you put a point. Let's just say
I'll tell you what is more reasonable, more acceptable, or more feasible. I think that might happen in the next 500 years or probably even 50 years. What is really like a painting on the wall, like a writing on the wall. What is so clear, so palpable, is not this. The lab-grown meat will take its place. That will be much shorter than this. Let's say in about 20-25 years, I can see the whole world consuming. I think they've already started in Singapore, Africa, and all some of the countries where lab-grown meat will be a more viable solution to eating. That is again an optimized solution. Not eating meat. It's not eating meat. It is eating meat, but inflicting less pain or practically almost zero pain, close to zero pain to the animal who's a victim, according to you. So we just take a small tissue
and to the animal.
And to the animal. Yeah. That's what I said.
Not just according to me. It's a victim according to them. That's why I don't.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. So take a small tissue, you generate it in the lab, like we discussed. We create so much of food, and that I heard is giving a better taste also than the original meat for whatever scientific reasons. That I see is a far better viability and feasibility coming in the near future than these things.
All right. Therefore,
I'm telling you, this is something. Instead of this, I think people like you should be promoting that which is more feasible, more around the corner, more on the anvil. Something which is on the anvil.
Right. When it does come out, yes, obviously I will support that, because why am I as a vegan against that? Because at the end of the day, if people don't exploit animals, I don't care. But right now that's not my focus. And people have been speaking about lab-based meat. This stuff has been spoken about right now for decades, but we're still nowhere to it being completely out there, and it's not near reached the level where it can be sustainably available on the market for people to buy.
If that has not reached the level of sustainably available in the market, this is not even a dream in comparison.
No. So again, supply equals demand. When people decide to make a change, and people make a change, the demand does change.
Which one of the two do you think would be the first change if people decide to make a change?
For me, you're asking in terms of practicality?
Practicality.
Probably lab-based meat, obviously.
Yeah. So you're jumping that level. You're going to something which I don't see happening in the next 100 years.
And therefore,
discussing that now would be absolutely. It's something which is absolutely infeasible, not even in the next 100 years. Because looking at the economy, looking at the social impact, all of these were pertaining to this country adapting to this kind of options instead of just buying a meat and eating it.
Yeah, but that, as I said earlier, you are again comparing...
The practical feasibility.
You did not compare yourself when it came to vital wheat gluten. You did not compare yourself when it came to tofu or something. You compared to some person in a village who would say to his son, yeah,
that
Papa,
is when you have actually achieved your success.
Exactly. And that success can be achieved when people who are in privilege stop using underprivileged people as an excuse to continue their activities and habits. You get my point? People who are in privilege need to stop using hiding behind underprivileged people to justify their habit. They don't do that in any. You will never say, well, can that person in the village ever buy a cell phone? Well, guess I won't buy it until they can buy. No, that's not how it
not that.
works.
People who are in privilege who have not hidden behind underprivilege and started using certain things, we see that those things are still being used only by the privileged and not the underprivileged.
Because it's not big enough yet. And that's why people like myself exist to educate people on this. And
We spoke about soy milk or almond milk, which is still only with the privileged few.
and I did mention that I don't recommend soy or almond milk.
No, you don't. I'm telling you that those are things which are used only by the privileged people.
And they have nothing to do with veganism. I repeat that again.
No, it's not about veganism. Any concept for that matter which is used only by the privileged, it is not really used by the and it's going to take years and years for the underprivileged to even get to know about it.
Yes, and that's why I'm first working on communicating to the privileged class. That's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm telling you. Communicating to the privileged class will not take it beyond the privileged class, because whatever has been earlier communicated to the privileged class and whatever has been bought by the privileged, understood, accepted and bought by the privileged class are lying only with the privileged class even after 50 years.
I disagree. I believe even underprivileged people right now have cell phones, smartphones. If there is enough demand, it will reach. People will try to make it reach the other markets as well.
The kind of demand that a cell phone is able to give you, it's far. I mean, it's no comparison to the kind of discussion that we're having now. Cell phone is a different ballgame altogether. It's a different commodity altogether.
Yes, but my point is that regardless
We're talking about lifestyle, way of life.
Yeah, and the cell phones do play a very important role. Just an example. My point is this: supply equals demand. That's the kind of society we live in. And if you manage to create the demand, the supply will come for it. That's what I want to say.
You're trying to say that you find the means and the purpose will. I mean, you find the purpose and the means will follow.
Eventually, that's how the economy is designed. Yeah, that's how the economy is designed.
Well, that's why I asked you for an honest answer, brutally honest. Don't you think this is not going to happen in the next 200 years? At least for this country.
I don't necessarily think in that direction. Because if I start to look at, like say if I'm climbing a mountain right now, if I keep looking at the peak and thinking, when will I ever make it up there? It's going to be a hell of a bad journey.
No, but it's equally important to accept reality as well. You've seen the trains in China. You've seen the kind of trains that run in China. The ones in the Western countries, the European countries. For India to get such trains only, it is going to take 200 years. Right. So that is something. See, today I cannot continuously put videos saying that the trains have to be like this. Okay. You can't travel in that way.
But wait, again, if we can, since we're on this subject for quite a long time right now, we'll just wrap this subject alone, right? Because we have one more thing to discuss finally.
Yeah.
And that is what I want to say to you is that, again, regarding the train example as well, because of that example, what are you trying to conclude? Can you just say it in one line? Like,
this is not the right time for a riot. Not even the right time. This is not the country where you can promote it at this point in time. Where people I cannot decide for somebody in the future. I cannot decide for somebody who's going to live 50 years to 200 years later. I don't even know what their mindset would be. But as of today, I can only talk for as of today, probably 20, 30 years hence or 50 years hence. 50 years hence for my mind, the way I have made up my mind, and for those who are going to live 50 years hence, I'm telling you, nobody's going to give up meat for the sake of this.
For the sake of this or for the sake of animals?
For the sake of animals.
For the sake of animals.
Nobody's going to take this as an alternative
for the sake of
meat for the sake of animals.
Yeah, but that's pretty much however the
practical.
That's however the argument that I am trying to provide. Though that is basically my whole.
Then that is exactly what I'm trying to convey.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, before we, since we have been here, by the way, did you know we've been going on for 2.5 hours right now?
Oh yeah,
This is crazy.
But it's been interesting as well.
So I have just two more things to do. First, I wondered if we can. I believe we still have half an hour left, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Yeah. We have 30 minutes left, right? We're good. Okay, good. So basically,
we'll quickly wrap it.
Yeah. No, we don't have to. We have still 30 minutes left. So what I wanted to just talk to you first again was about the whole human-animal comparison. And if we could just stick on that subject. Okay, I don't want us to deviate into anything else. We'll just have clear answers to what each other is asking right now. My point is this, Vishwa. You do not approve of this comparison between a human and an animal because there is some distinction you see here. When you mentioned one distinction, I pointed out a flaw in that. If that is a flaw, can you point out some other distinction in that for me? What is the distincting value here between a human?
The only value is that the point of contention here is that we have been created, I believe, we have been, and many like me believe, we have been created to perform certain actions eat certain food, procure our food for our livelihood from certain sources. We believe that nature has given us that, and we strictly abide by it.
No.
We don't do any analogy to it like, what if I kill another human being? Will he feel a pain? What if tomorrow an alien comes from Mars and I kill him? No, nature has assigned me to take food for my livelihood from certain sources. I'm doing it.
Okay,
Simple.
so
That's my belief.
you gave a clear-cut answer right now.
Yeah.
Now, my problem is this. You are basing your actions on a belief. Belief means faith, lack of facts. Else, if it's not called as faith. If I believe in something, if I say I believe in Vishwa for something, it means that I'm not sure whether Vishwa will do it or not. But you know what? I still think he'll do it. I put faith in you. When you're not sure is when you call it as belief or faith. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are now basing your actions of harming, of putting physical violence onto other creatures who can feel pain and suffering just like you because you believe something.
Yeah.
That's a very poor way to rationalize something. I'll tell you why. Because someone could also say that they believe that their race is superior to another race. We Indians experience racism when we go abroad in many areas. We read about how African Americans experience racism in America and all this stuff. But if we go to that individual who's doing that act of racism, he says, you know what? I believe my race is superior and that you were put on earth here for me. His beliefs do not justify his actions. Belief is a very poor way of saying that something is justified. Can you give me facts instead of faith, Vishwa?
Okay, I'm neither resorting to facts nor resorting to faith. What I do I work under certain legal boundaries. I believe. I believe in karma, I believe in dharma, I believe in legal I believe in the legality, the legal framework that has bound me all these years. So I believe in the legal framework that has driven the human race all these years. If that legal boundary does not stop me from getting my livelihood, getting the source of food and health for my livelihood and my taste, and the legal boundary is not restricting that, I feel what I do is right.
We've been over this. That's a logical fallacy. You may think you're right, but that doesn't mean you are right.
I mean, it applies to your logic as well.
When did I ever say that because something is legal, therefore it's right?
No, your logic is different. You say just because you're hurting animals, it is wrong.
That's not based on law. That is a law of nature. No. So we have to be careful again, right? The words like evolution and law here right now. Law of nature is a word that we humans use to describe how things go about in activity in nature is one thing.
Prevalence.
Yeah. That is just an observation of what we see in nature. When you say law in society, it now comes down to what's written in law, what we should abide by. Let's not please confuse these two things.
That has to be a part of the whole thing.
No, you have...
Tomorrow, if I find taste in human meat, I can't eat, and health in human meat, I can't do so.
I get that, Vishwa, I get that. But again, what you're doing right now is you are again, and I told you, do not, please give it me an answer if you can, based on facts, not faith. You brought about law. Law is factual. I can literally go right now and download and read the Constitution. It's right there. We all can read it, right?
Yeah.
That's a fact. You're saying a clear-cut fact for me right now. Okay. When you say karma and dharma, that again falls under faith. You are free to believe it. Okay, but now and I'm trying to talk with you on a logical, rational level, bringing that in to justify is you're not being logical here right now. If you mention law, got it. Because you're
talking factual.
Only facts. Through facts, I want you to justify why you feel me comparing the murder of a human to the killing of an animal is wrong.
Because I believe, again, it's a belief.
No, I don't want beliefs. I want facts, Vishwa.
You believe that believing fact is the right way of approach to life.
Okay, fair enough. That's a fair question. Let me answer that in that. Okay, fine.
That again is a belief.
Right. Okay, fine. That's a fair question you put forward. Let me answer that. I will tell you what. Fine. We'll put it this way. You have particular values. I have particular values. Okay, we have different values here. I am basing my values on the fact that an animal can suffer just as much as I can suffer. You are basing your values on the fact that you believe something to be true. I am basing my values on a fact. You are basing your values on a belief.
That is unfortunate for the animal, because I believe again that and it's a fact too, that human race is a much, much higher race than the animal race. And for the human race to reach that higher levels, the consumption of animal had been mandatory, not required, mandatory at various stages in various forms.
it's no longer mandatory for many of us. We can choose to no longer support it. And number two, the British Empire also would not be where it is right now if they did not think that they are superior and did all the madness they did hundreds of years ago.
True, exactly, hundreds of years ago. So like I said, I cannot think for what would happen after 200 years.
But
probably after 200 years, if mankind thinks that way.
But that's how freedom fighters thought back then. They did think what's happening right now to us is an injustice. It doesn't matter. Because if you had probably gone to Martin Luther King, people definitely did go to Martin Luther King and even the freedom fighters of our time and told in our country and told them like, you're insane. We'll never get freedom. The British will never let us go. We're screwed forever. But they were like, you know what? I don't believe you. And it's okay if I'm killed. It's okay if it takes hundreds of years. I'm going to fight with my life.
See, that is something that's your point of view. That's a point of view.
But I am, but notice that you just this way then. So you base your value on how you treat animals on beliefs and not facts. Is it fair if I said that?
It's about what I believe. Yeah, it's belief.
Okay. And your belief when we pick them apart,
my facts go only to an extent to that extent where I feel. I want factual, I want facts enough to convince me that eating this meat would do good for my health. That is all the fact I would require. I would not get factual beyond that.
And of course, this is a very silly question, but I know the answer. If someone were to treat you the same way you treat animals for the exact same reasons you use to treat animals, you would be against it, obviously.
I can be against it as the animal is against it now. But if that is my destiny, if that is what the whole system is, I don't think it. I mean, it would matter because I would come to terms with reality that this is the system and I have to go through this.
But I am shocked, Vishwa, if I can say this, that because because once my wife recommended who you are, like, I went and started binge watching your videos, and I was like, yo, this guy is lit. Like, I really like how he's approaching each topic and giving ideas. You're saying this now, but you have never mentioned this in any of your videos where violence towards humans is happening. You don't say it is their karma, you know what, let it be that way.
No, not for violence towards human. I said if that was the system itself. We are talking hypothetical now. If I were to be treated by somebody else, not just another human being, probably somebody from the let's compare it that
aliens,
way.
Okay.
Since we are better living beings than the animals. We are superior beings than the animals. Let us say that it takes another superior being to come and do this to what you say.
Good example, yeah.
So let us say some alien is coming and doing it to me tomorrow. I will be as against it as an animal is today.
But when I'm powerless.
But I would be powerless.
Would you call it as fair?
It's fair again. That's a very relative term. Whether it's fair, something is fair to somebody else. If that race,
but when you speak about human justice, you talk about fairness and unfairness, Vishwa.
If that alien race completely takes over this human world and they become more populous and they are more powerful, then you have to go through what the animal is going through today. You cannot. Hypothetically, we are talking yet. This is the logic.
Yes. But I'm asking you, do you not agree in society we have views like fair and unfair? We do have views like that.
Again, you're coming back to the society and laws. You only said we're not supposed to talk about the legal system. It could be wrong. The social system.
I'm not talking about legal system right now. I'm talking about a value.
Yeah.
A value that you have as something is fair and unfair, because you are very vocal about this.
What is fair to me could be unfair to you and vice versa. Arvind.
But can you respect that if someone is being unfair?
I completely respect your views. I will not mock at you for being.
No, that's why you get caught. I'm asking, when you speak against injustice happening to humans, you don't say you respect the victimizer's views. You respect only the victim's views. But when you happen to victimize animals, you're respecting only your views and not the animal's views.
Yes, perfect. That is the system here. That is what has been prevalent, and I'm not the one to sit here and change it. What I'm doing through my videos, is showing, unmasking things that are masked and people are getting deceived by. There are certain things, every little thing around you, right from a hospital to a medicine to a grocery to a health drink to a cab or whatever, everything around you is having a mask, and there is something called what lies beneath. I'm unmasking, I'm showing the people this is what
makeup without Vishwa. Yeah, exactly.
That is the objective of my videos.
I completely respect that.
But if there is a prevalence in the system, which is permitted by the law, which is good for the mankind, health of mankind, which I probably may not accept, is not of my opinion, I still cannot push it into the minds of the people.
You don't need to be an activist like me. You can just choose to be accountable for the actions you do to animals and just choose to change
Classic
yourself.
example, I'll tell you, there was a reported case in one of the universities in Chennai where the person was punished also. When he was arrested, even after he was apprehended, I went on to say my opinion that rapists anymore should not be given a jail sentence, because that doesn't pain. That doesn't, that doesn't give them, inflict the same pain that the victim is going through. So they should be given a punishment which would give them the pain for the rest of the life, like it pains the girl and the victim and the parents of the victim, the near and dear ones of the victim. So that is something I told, but that is not permissible by law today.
Your opinion is what you
I am just suggesting it.
And here's
I don't know, probably after 100 years this law might come into play, or 50 years the law might come into place. But I'm just like, and Arvind is suggesting something, I'm just suggesting to the world. But if that does not happen, I have to sit and be at the receiving end. I can't do much about it, because that is what is in prevalence. That is all. I'm a very, very normal, common man. I'm a very common man.
The only part I guess I'll argue, first of all, thank you for being, you know one thing I'll say I like about you, you are honest.
Yeah.
You don't try to sugarcoat things. You don't try to say something just so that it seems like you can in Tamil.
I'm not here to impress you.
Yeah. Fair enough. You're here to speak your mind. That's in fact that's why I called you. I wanted people like this only.
Yeah.
So I guess one last thing is I'll probably want to make you watch a video if you're interested. If you don't want to, you can stop that. But the point is, before I come to that is, obviously I don't agree with what you say. I do find fallacies and illogical things, but we have been over. We don't have to go through it again.
Yeah,
I do find that in what you say, and all I feel is when you said that you wish that such a law could be implemented for a rapist. I was like, man, this guy's a hero. I love this guy, so awesome. And I just want to say, as a fellow human being, it breaks my heart that Vishwa, this kind-hearted, sensible, rational person, because of his belief system, is unwilling to show that same level of regard to animal life. I just feel like if in another universe, Vishwa was born into a family that happened to be vegan, and he happened to be raised vegan, he'd be a hero for animals just like how he's a hero for humans. And for me, I feel like this society has taken away this kindness from you, and it has just made you apathetic towards animals. That's just how I feel.
I mean, you're putting it in the most diplomatic way I can see, but that I respect your views on me, but that's how it happens.
Yeah,
that's how it remains true.
I can see that. That's the world. I get
yeah,
it.
that's the world.
Yeah. Before we end, one last thing I want to ask of you is, this is something you can choose whether you want to do or not want to do. I have brought with me here a footage that shows exactly how animals are treated inside slaughterhouses. And before I played, I had, of course, a warning saying that it's extremely graphic in nature. And therefore, if you are uncomfortable watching it, no compulsions or judgments from my side, you can feel free to just
I don't mind watching.
Yeah. It's just a 3-minute video. Once you are done watching it, you can just give your opinion on what you think about the video. And I guess no need to go more back and forth. Like whatever you say, I can just say, you know what, he expresses his views. I disagree. If I disagree, that's it. I think that's it. We don't have to.
We agree to disagree. That's it.
I don't agree. Here's what I want to say that I don't agree to disagree. I feel that you are wrong. I feel that you're taking part in an injustice that is horrendous and horrific in nature. I can't stop you. I can talk to you. There's nothing more I can do but talk to you. But I will not agree to disagree in the same reason why if someone were to exploit a human or abuse a human and say, Arvind, agree to disagree, I'm like, you know what, man? Maybe you are stronger than me in some way, in political way or something. I can stop you. But I do not respect what you're doing. Okay? Maybe as an individual, as a human being, yeah, of course, I'm your fan still. That doesn't change. But this particular action of yours,
the ideologies differ.
Yeah. This particular action of yours, Vishwa, no, I don't, with all respect, I don't respect it, Vishwa. I do not respect this action.
No, I respect that view of yours as well.
Fair enough. I'm just glad we can be, see, that's what I want. We should be honest. We should be able to communicate things honestly. Fair enough. I'll just play the video.
Let's have a look at it.
You can just express your views. That's it.
This is, this according to me, is cruelty at its height. Although, with due respects to whatever I have argued in favor of consuming animals, I still feel that this amount of cruelty is definitely not required to get the right kind of proteins and vitamins for yourself. I completely agree with you. That is why. See, I can only express my personal views. I cannot talk for the millions out there. So my personal view is how I have conceived, how I have perceived eating meat. I have always preferred the halal way of eating meat. That is why I have always consumed meat which is absolutely halal certified, and I know what according to halal is a proper way of slaughtering an animal. That is why I addressed this even before you showed me this. I told you, see, to be very honest, I have already seen not exactly these videos, similar such videos, which is there across multiple platforms. I have seen them. And I have never been in support of this or I've never supported this kind of slaughtering process. As I told you, tomorrow, if science can advance to a stage where it can find ways of providing meat and meat protein and meat taste to mankind without even having to kill an animal, let alone decide on the way how to slaughter it, even without killing it, if science can come out with it, I would be the first person to stand up for that. You understand? So I also do not permit this kind of killing. I only said I like to eat meat. I never said I like to kill any living somebody. It's somebody, whether it's human or an animal, it's somebody. I would never like to kill somebody. Like, say for the perfect analogy would have been, I told you, a person who's a rapist has to be dealt with very, very badly. But if the government puts me in a position to do that to him, I will not do that. I will not inflict something upon another human being, although he is a culprit. But if there are systems to do it, I would suggest the system has to be done. Likewise, I would not want to kill an animal like this, nor will I want to consume an animal which has been killed as brutally as this. I would prefer to do it in a much, much easier way for the animals as well, because I'm also somebody who loves another living being. I love living beings, but if one of those living beings have to be my food, I wouldn't mind eating them if the killing is done as painlessly as it can get. Or tomorrow, as I said, if the killing is done even without inflicting a pain, even without killing it, if the meat can be delivered to my platter even without having the animal killed, I would definitely go for that, because I also support love towards animals to an extent, not to an extent of what you are doing, but to a great extent, I also support. That's why I've always respected your views, although I have contradiction.
Right. Well, I just want to say thank you for your explanation, Vishwa. I don't necessarily want to respond anything back in detail, because then it'll go on forever. But one thing I just want to clarify, if I can, with what you said, is that I don't have necessarily love for animals. I would rather like to call it as justice for animals, because love is when I choose
Compassion?
to have... Even compassion is not needed. I would say it as justice, because I don't need to love Vishwa or have compassion for Vishwa to understand that Vishwa's life matters just as much as my own. I don't need to love you or have compassion. It's just a basic understanding as a fellow human being. Similarly, I would argue that for me personally, when I see these animals suffering, I don't see a difference between killing a human or an animal. I don't see any difference. It's the exact same thing in my eyes. And therefore, I believe that they deserve justice, not necessarily love or compassion is the take.
From justice perspective itself, I see a difference between the way of killing an animal, let alone the human. Even when it comes to an animal, I see a clear difference in the way an animal is killed for my consumption. This is definitely not one of them.
All right. So for those watching right now, if you are interested in going vegan or interested in learning more, please do check out further videos in my channel. I have an entire guide that's 90 minutes long that shows how people in India can easily transition to being vegan, get affordable food, get all of the nutrients. I've gone into detail about everything. And if you want to check out, if you speak Tamil, please do check out Vishwa's channel, which is Without
Makeup with Vishwa.
Without Makeup with Vishwa on YouTube. And Vishwa, thank you so much for your time.
It's been my pleasure.
This is why I called you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And all the very best for all your endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.